Oh fuck. All right, I'm gonna play this intro. I set up my green screen. Hold on, check this intro out. It's the same one you've always seen from the start. But you know, all right.
Also, can Sanctification get a shout out? You a Sanctification.
Your life literally is as valuable as a summer ant. I'm just gonna stump you. You're gonna keep coming back. I'm gonna seal up all my cracks. You're gonna keep coming back. Why? Because you keep smelling the syrup, you worthless bitch ass nigga. You're gonna stay on my dick until you die. You serve no purpose in life. Your purpose in life is to be in my stream sucking on my dick daily. Your purpose in life is to be in that chat blowing a dick daily. Your life is nothing. You serve zero purpose.
I'm ready. Come on.
You should kill yourself.
Dude, it's Lawrence. That's, oh my god, it's Maxwell Jacob Freeman. It's Phil. Who's next? Who's next? Who's next? Oh my god. I think it is him. Wait a minute. It is. It has to be.
I mean this.
Hold on. Wait a minute. It's Jack Scalfani. What the hell? It's Phil again. It's Nick Riccietta. It's Nick Riccietta. It's Nick Rakuda.
Fuck yourself. I don't care.
The Rakuda?
Fuck off. Fuck you. And while you're at it, fucking off yourself. I don't care. Fuck you.
Gross. Actually, gross.
You.
Libertarian programming activated.
You already know.
I love
Like that one Boa song. You like Boa? You any Boa fans in the audience tonight? Let me turn my layout on. Oh no, my camera. I have to fix it probably. Hold on. Is it really him? Oh no, it's not. Oh no, it's not working again. How does this keep happening? How is this continually? Oh, there it is. There's the guy. Wow. You see? I was gonna be angry and upset, but now I am angry and upset because I'm fucking burning. The sun's fucking burning down Los Angeles right now. I'm not even in Los Angeles, but I feel like I am. It's insane. It's so humid. So what we have here today is oh sorry, I'm the guy, the dude, the lad, the frog, the fella, the motherfucker, the brother, the sister, and all things in between. I feel like I had more like more things at the end, but I kind of forgot about them. Somewhere in the middle. Like I said, this series has it starts kind of shitty. It doesn't get good, but it gets better. It's a richer depth of content. You know, there's more stuff going on in general. And then as it goes down, that's where we're at right now. We're at the declining action. So it's a classic. It's the Freytag story pyramid. You know, you got your introduction, your rising action, you got your climax. I don't know what the climax was. I would say the climax was like the climax might have been probably a film thing, but even like you know what? The climax would have been the Channel Awesome stuff. That whole area of shit with the Quentin video and then the actual movies. And then even like before that, you had like setting up with a Lightbringer. That was pretty good. That was the climax here. I thought it would have been like a fill thing, but the more I think about it, I kind of blew my fill load too early. I did enjoy the Channel Awesome stuff, but right now we're in the doldrums. We're in the end of it. We're in the shit pile. So let's just get on with it. We're gonna listen, by the way, to KingCobraJFS's A Special Blonde. Now, it's an audio file only, so there's that. I gotta turn the gain way up, and I might have to slow down the playback speed too, because he kind of talks kind of fast. He talks like me, but he has a lower, more like he mumbles more somehow. If that makes sense. Where like I have this thing where like I try to make my voice sound deeper. I like feeling the vibrations in my throat. Sus. So I kind of just like I have more of a mumble. We both have mumbles. I have more of a grumble and the mumble. He just kind of talks faster than I do. Wow, that was I just didn't enunciate any of that. But he doesn't enunciate either. He enunciates less than I do too, so it's kind of an issue. It's not all the time. You can get him sometimes. Sometimes he's not fully there. But let's just go for it. Let's just go. I'm talking faster now. You see? I'm trying to prove myself, and it's failing.
Special Blonde, story by Josh Saunders, for young adult, for adults only. I say that because it deals with a lot of adult situations, and Lizzie's character is complex as a complex thinker.
Okay, so the main character, Special Blonde by Joshua Faye Saunders. You may have missed that first part. He kind of said it kind of fast. Lindsay's character. That's what he just said. That's Ang's main character. That's the Well, I'll have him say it for you.
Special Blonde, story by Josh Saunders, for young adult, for adults only.
Is it?
I say that because it deals with a lot of adult situations, and
oh, that's weird. Okay, so if it.
Special Blonde.
I might just open this in VLC player actually, because I'm going to invariably Audacity is what I'm playing this on right now. But what Audacity does, if you press the pause button and then the play button.
H.
Yeah, it starts from the playhead and not like the actual. It's weird. I don't even want to explain it. But if I go from the start, I have to press the pause button again to start playing again instead of pressing the play button, because the play button starts from where you put the playhead at, and not from where you paused. So unless you move the playhead with the audio, which would then scroll through the audio, essentially you're just gonna get you're gonna get a restart button. You have 2 restart buttons right now. It's not worth explaining. My point is, I'm gonna toss this in Audacity. The veracity of Audacity, a quick Audacity toss in it. No, not Vamp Anthem. So I'm gonna toss this in a VLC player. Any VLC players out there? No, that's not VLC player. Alright, I gotta refine this file. Cool. I love finding files. Open file location. Open with the universal one. VLC media player. My favorite. And while we listen to this, I'm trying to understand the story of the Special Blonde while simultaneously drawing. Now it's 1 hour and 44 minutes, so it's kind of a doozy. It's gonna take longer than I expected actually, but that's okay. And then again, I've kind of been here a while because I've paused a lot. I'm an asshole.
Special Blonde, story by Josh Saunders, for young adult, for adults only. I say that because it deals with a lot of adult situations, and Lizzie's character is complex as a complex thinker, but she's portrayed as this stupid, airheaded, popular blonde, but she's so much deeper than that, and she feels like no one understands her. So I'm trying to put a bit of myself into the characters, and
so
that makes it more realistic and makes for a really good story.
He's putting himself into the character of the Special Blonde, who is shown as a dumb blonde, of course. King Cobra known as a dumb blonde, obviously.
I'll skip through some of it, just you get the gist of it, I guess. Ah, fuck it. Ooh.
Oh God. Did he get shot? I want to test this audio real quick. Is that a fart?
Seconds, alright. What's I doing? I was reading the story.
I would assume he sounds fine, but I don't know. Give me a moment. I'm gonna pause this. I'm gonna do a real quick audio check. Now you might think to yourself, why don't you do audio checks before you start streaming? Because fuck you. I'm a professional. Is that a fart?
Seconds, alright. What's I doing? I was reading the story.
I would assume he sounds fine, but I don't know. Well, he sounds like he sounds on my end, which is foggy. But I also sound way foggier, so it's kind of sus, isn't it? might have to boost that gain. Any gain boosters out? Anyone out here boosting that gain? Any gain boosters out there? Any gain boosters? Any gain boosters? Are you guys boosting that gain? Hold on. Let's boost that gain one more time. Gain boosted. Let's start the video. Let's keep playing. Nice.
Oh God.
Okay, this is the audio test segment. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Hold on. Let's boost that gain one more time. Gain boosted. Let's start the video. Let's keep playing. Nice.
Oh God.
Okay, this is the audio test segment. It's pretty cool, isn't it? I still sound foggy. It's insane. That can't be real, but it is. And it's disgusting. There's gotta be an issue that I'm not getting. And I don't want to fuck around with shit like an idiot, because that's how you die. That's how you actually die, by fucking around with shit. I'm gonna take a risk. I'm gonna take a mild risk. Risk taken. Risk taken still? I'm gonna just one more real. This is the troubleshooting segment. It's terrible. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I thought I was ready. I was not ready. I really thought I had it. Hey, cough again.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
Thanks. Thanks. You see, we're both doing our test segments. He explains the plot and coughs and farts and sniffs, and I test my microphone audio. I really thought I had it. Hey, cough again.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
Thanks. Thanks. You see, we're both doing our... That actually sounds pretty okay. I sound like I have like a much deeper voice, but I mean, I can deal with that, madam. Madam. I hate myself already. Let's go. We're in it now. We're in it for real.
Where's the axe? Ooh.
We're gonna boost Josh a little bit. Hey, hold on, actually.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What is he doing? Is he just sniffing?
You know what's bad when you can smell your own farts? Usually I don't smell them, but when you get... Oh,
okay, sorry. That's a King Cobra lore point. When he farts, I really... on occasion, he'll, like, sniff his own farts. Not to, like, to smell them, but to, like, it's noble. Because he'll do it to, like... He sniffs his own farts not because he wants to, but because he doesn't want to, like, bother other people with the smell. So he'll inhale the scent and inhale the stinky air to protect others from his dark farts. It's not a joke. That's actually what he does. It's actually pretty noble, honestly.
You know, like when you fart and you can taste it, like, oh God.
Yeah,
someone farts and it's just like so fucking rotten, you can actually taste it in your mouth. It's like, oh, dude, what the hell? You know, it's just rotten as all.
Yeah, it's rotten. I understand. You want to keep going, man?
Should probably open the window because...
Open a window, too. Let's go.
That deodorant sits in the fucking air. I'll end up huffing myself to sleep, and that will not be good. Do you want to get too wasted, do we? No, we don't.
I'm gonna draw a fun little Josh here. A little Joshy boy here.
Get a chance to know that tobacco smoke out of my apartment too. I've been smoking like crazy all day. So.
Let's resize it a bit, eh?
I started working on this in Job Corps and then never quite finished it. I mean, granted, the story moves very slowly, so some people are impatient, you know, so it's kind of like Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, the last book. It's an amazing book. I've read a lot of Harry Potter books. J.K. Rowling is a brilliant author, in my opinion. Just a brilliant author. And that's the thing about it too, is that no one would publish her. People are like, who the hell is this chick? You know, some small unknown publisher decided to give her a chance, and they're both rich off their ass. Case in point, you never know when life's gonna give you an opportunity.
So he's
so
like J.K.
they'll
Rowling.
come knock on your door and they'll go, grasp it, just let it slide. Yo, his palms are sweaty. Eek, weak eyes, he's ready. 8-Mile reference, and it's true. That's all. It's true. That's true. What I'm saying. It makes no sense.
Like a thick brow. Like the King Cobra thick brow and the Chad jawline. The Chad jaw.
Wow.
Yeah, like a butt chin too. I think the butt chin's part of the lore for this. I haven't watched it before. I just kind of know that as like my single Easter egg of knowledge.
Lizzie was your typical blonde bombshell. She was captain of the high school cheerleading squad.
Okay, by the way, this is the intro. This is the story right here. Lindsay was your typical blonde bombshell. Now I need to check my mouse sounds, but my hat keys. Going back 10 seconds is what? Very short backwards jump. Okay, yeah, makes sense. So he's starting the story right now. Let's go.
Lizzie was your typical blonde bombshell. She was captain of the high school cheerleading squad. Long, soft blonde hair, dark lemon green eyes, double D's, light eyes, smooth on street, like a tan skin, tight curves of pretty double D's. Okay. Every guy in high school wanted to date her.
I want you to know that if you can't hear him, I also cannot hear him. I'm going to try to boost him some more. It's going to be loud as hell, but that's okay. Well, if I actually can boost him. Oh no, I mean I can't. Oh no. I have like all of my audio settings are maxed too.
Every girl wanted to be her. She had money and looks and popularity. In her high school, she was the queen. Her stunning looks and rockin' body got her the attention which she used to her advantage. At home, that was a different story. Dun dun dun. Her mom is struggling alcoholic, married 3 times. Her first husband, Lizzie's dad, Bruce, was tall and handsome and had thick dark hair and dark lime green eyes. Had died of stomach cancer. The second husband, Todd, came out of the closet, and after divorcing Joanne, Lizzie's mom, committed suicide. The third husband, Stephen, was abusive to Joanne and had a problem with drinking as well. He ended up in prison for his behavior and later was murdered in prison by an inmate.
It's a bad backstory here.
Heavy shit.
Yeah,
I warned you. The stress of 2 unhappy marriages and the loss of her first husband has taken its toll on Joanne, who was once blonde just like her daughters, has become gray and she has spent a lot of money dyeing it its original color. Luckily enough, her first husband, Bruce, left her his very successful wine company, making her a very, very wealthy woman, added to the insurance policies from 3 deceased husbands, only added to her wealth. Lizzie was dating a star quarterback of her high school's football team. His name was Scott. Scott was tall, had short, wavy chestnut brown hair, slightly muscular, and had navy blue eyes. With his handsome good looks and Lizzie's stunning beauty, they were the hottest couple of Bridgedale High. The Bridgedale Bulldogs were undefeated in every sport. Bridgedale took serious pride in athletics. Lizzie's former friend Trisha, a fiery redhead with slightly smaller figure and brown eyes.
The fiery redhead. Why are redheads always fiery? Sorry, I'm shitposting on Discord right now. I'm so sorry.
when they first met, they were the best of friends. Trisha living in the trailer park with her deadbeat alcoholic dad. Trisha and Lizzie had something in common. They both had alcoholic parents. When they were still friends, they didn't let their social class and income differences change their friendship. But when they entered middle school and both girls started crushing on Scott, Lizzie got Scott and joined cheerleading to spend more time with him, and Trisha joined drama club, and the two were in different worlds and no longer best friends. Should I read more? Alright, why the hell not? It's bored. I'm sobering up and out. Yeah. Lizzie and Scott had taken a break during the summer to cool off. Lizzie and Scott were entering their senior year at Bridgedale High. Scott wanted to have sex with, but Lizzie wasn't ready, and it ended up causing problems in the relationship. I think a lot of us can relate to that.
Classic Cobra.
Or not necessarily problems, but, concerns. If you want it that bad, whip out your dick, watch some fucking porn, jack off, and get over it. It's not that complicated.
I can't tell if that was part of the story or just him saying that to someone else.
Whip out your dick, watch some fucking porn, jack off, and get over it. It's not that complicated. You don't need pussy to have sex, man. If you have hands and you don't have to. You can make yourself orgasm. It's not rocket science. You don't need to go into this. Practice safe sex. Use your hands. Free and easy.
We're going into it.
Back to the story. Okay.
Back to the story.
Okay. They ended up taking a break for the summer and planned on getting back together when school started. Lizzie got a job working at her mother's winery. She worked over the summer, making $10 an hour. Scott had promised to wait for her, agreeing that a break from dating would be good and to come back from the summer break with a fresh start, and agreeing not to see other women over summer break, saying that Lizzie was the only one for him. Lizzie would be turning 18 during the school year. While on summer break, Lizzie got her driver's license. She was saving up for her dream car, a brand new hot pink Porsche convertible. Lizzie had been tempted to start dating again. Ooh, here we go. It gets juicy. While she watched the workers out in the field picking grapes for the wine one day. While on a smoke break, trying not to get caught by her mother, who also smoked, had noticed that one of the workers picking grapes and her jaw dropped. Okay, yeah, Lizzie, and here's one of my characters I was talking about, created for the story that it's memorable. I think the story personally it's going to appeal to both sexes. It's got that romance, steamy novel to it, and it's also got that edgy, gritty, real-life scenario to it that guys can relate to. So I think if the story gets published, I think a lot of people are going to like it. Okay. He was tall, had well-tanned skin, and extremely muscular, had long, flowing, jet-black hair, which he had in a ponytail that stretched to below the back of his neck. His face had high cheekbones, hollow cheeks, a double chin with a dimple in the middle of that double chin, a square jaw, and a full set of soft lips. His eyes were silver gray. He looked like something out of steam.
Hold on. I need to go back. I'm so sorry. I can't help myself. Alright, let's go back to the important part.
He was tall, had well-tanned skin, and extremely muscular, had long, flowing jet black hair, which he had in a ponytail that stretched to below the back of his neck. His face had high cheekbones, hollow cheeks, a double chin, with a dimple in the middle.
Okay, so I think when he says high cheekbones and double cheek and like hollow cheeks and like a double chin, I think he does actually mean like the butt chin, and not like a double chin.
That double chin, a square jaw, and a full set of soft lips. His eyes were silver gray. He looked like something out of a steamy romance novel. It was her first day working at the phone as a phone assistant for the winery. He looked up from his work and smiled at her with perfect straight white teeth and 5 o'clock shadow. Lizzie felt herself go hot all over. Who was this man, she thought. One of the fellow co-workers had come out to join her and noticed her checking out the man. Lizzie tried hiding the cigarette, but the fellow co-worker said, "Don't worry, Lizzie, I won't say a word to the missus." It was Agatha, a middle-aged African-American woman with a thick southern accent. "Oh, thank you," said Lizzie.
African-American woman.
"Who's that man over there?" asked Lizzie. Agatha turned to see who she was referring to, and lighting a cigarette, she said, "That's Antonio Valentine. Lord have mercy, and he's some hunk," she said, laughing. Antonio stopped to take off his tank top, wiping the sweat from his face, and picked up a water bottle and took a long drink, then dumped some of the water all over his face and chest. Lizzie was practically drilling at him now. As he put his shirt back on, he picked up the wheelbarrow full of grapes and began to haul it off to the truck parked 20 yards away to dispose of the wine grapes in the factory. Antonio appeared 6 minutes later, standing next to Lizzie and Agatha. He was wearing ripped, form-fitting work jeans and a form-fitting white tank top, and he was dripping with sweat. He cracked open a cold can of Pepsi and took a long drink, and then sighing with the cold, refreshing relief of the soda. He then took another pack of strawberry cigarillos and lit one up. The smell of the cigarillo was sweet and very pleasant. He exhaled a mouthful of smoke and turned to Lizzie and said, "So, is this your first time?"
Oh, the
accent. Stay here. His voice was deep, smooth.
The accent was pretty good. That was pretty genuine. Ay. So, is it your first time here?
To it, he smelled of sweat, cologne, and the faint sweetness of the cigarillo. "Yes, it is," Lizzie said, blushing. "I'm Antonio," he said. "I'm Lizzie," Lizzie said, extending her hand. Antonio took her hand and kissed it. His lips were soft as silk and warm. "A pleasure to meet you, Lizzie," he said. Lizzie was speechless. Yeah. You get one of those guys, the real ladies' man, yeah.
Real ladies' man, let's go.
Lizzie had learned that Antonio's dad was Latin American Italian mix, and his mom was French-British mix, or French-English mix, excuse me, and that he just turned 18 a week ago. Antonio had learned of where Lizzie was going to school, and that she was 17 and Scotch. He was disappointed for a moment. "Well," he said, "I hope you and Scott work out." At that moment, Lizzie's mom...
Antonio, you bastard. This guy's...
American Italian mix, and his mom was French-British mix, or French-English mix, excuse me, and that he just turned 18 a week ago. Antonio had learned of where...
Okay, I believe you, sir.
Where Lizzie was going to school, and that she was 17 and Scotch. He was disappointed for a moment. "Well," he said, "I hope you and Scott work out." At that moment, Lizzie's mom came out with a cigarette in her mouth. "Break's over," she said. Lizzie said bye to Antonio and Agatha and headed back to her work desk, pondering thoughts of Antonio and Scotch. See what I'm saying? Attention to detail. Can you visualize that shit? Yeah. Okay, I'll read the entire thing. How's that sound?
Oh shit, let's go.
Best way to end the evening video. Should I? What the hell? That's a little bedtime story.
I do like that he wasn't going to. He was like, you know what? Let's go. Let's go. He just got into it. So let's fucking read the entire story. I couldn't do that shit. I couldn't read Angel Armor, the full thing. He's a stronger man than I am.
The rest of the summer passed with a breeze. Lizzie made friends with Antonio. She found that she could talk to him about anything, and he was more than happy to listen and offer his advice. He was one of those guys that every girl dreamed of, tall, dark, handsome, and mysterious. The last day of summer break, Lizzie's mom held a pool party at the house to celebrate the booming success of the winery. Antonio had been hired to clean and fix the pool. Lizzie had stepped outside to smoke. Her mom was at the store picking up supplies for the party. She stepped outside, lighting her cigarette, and saw him swimming across the pool. Def Leppard's Pour Some Sugar on Me was playing in the radio by the pool. As he emerged from the pool, dripping wet hair, Pour Some Sugar on Me was playing across the pool, lighting her cigarette, and saw him swimming across the pool. Def Leppard's Pour Some Sugar on Me was playing in the radio by the pool. As he emerged from the pool, dripping wet hair in a ponytail and shaking off the water and wrapping a towel around his waist, he was wearing a red Speedo suit. Lizzie was about to faint. This was too much. He was so perfect, and he cared for her, and she hadn't seen Scott all summer. Again, this is what happens when you go long distance relationships. Case in point, you go without seeing each other for a long time, and freaking.
He's projecting about Stephanie. Now, for those of you who still don't know, Stephanie, whatever the fuck her last name is King Cobra's really only ex-girlfriend of note. He's had others, but they weren't the OG Stephanie. They weren't homegirl Stephanie, right? Stephanie is, she's his Panda Lee, you know. Now I'm pretending that you know about like DSP stuff, but Stephanie was like, she's the one. She had the most screen time. She was around the most. Everyone didn't like her. I think people liked Stephanie more than they liked Panda Lee, because she wasn't an ass. Stephanie wasn't an asshole, right? Panda Lee is different because Panda Lee was an asshole. Stephanie was not an asshole to Cobra fans. Stephanie still isn't really an asshole to Cobra fans because Cobra doesn't really have fans. I guess that's one of the main things too. Cobra's fans are also kind of they've been trolling from the start, where Phil fans kind of, Phil had fans at some point, and now he has trolls. And the fans aren't really, they're around, they're just not really as much. Also, my thigh is having some twitching issues right now. I can feel the twitches beneath the skin. Beneath my soul, beneath my skin. Definitely a cry. But Stephanie, how they ended was, I think, Stephanie cheated on Josh with some dude, because they were long distance, like, Lizzie and, Steven? Whatever her boyfriend's name is, who cares? The chestnut hair guy. Right? And, it just kind of comes together. It's kind of sounding like, maybe just a little bit he's kind of projecting, because, when he says, this is what happens when you have long-distance relationships, I mean, he's kind of only had one, and it's kind of been the one who cheated on him. So it's kind of like, and then he cheated on her, like, he was like, okay, I get it, I forgive you. Then he cheated on her, and then it's kind of broke up, because it's like, these are two people who they can't stay loyal to each other. So this is his thing. I think every locale should have like a story. I think every locale should like write a story. It'd be pretty cool. If you're a locale, please write a story. That's all I want you to do. Just write a single story. Base it on yourself. I don't care. Every locale should have their own little story about what just about anything, fiction, nonfiction. I want to get in their heads. It'd be amazing.
And, some people are strong enough to pull through it, some of us aren't. And unfortunately, me and weren't strong enough. But life goes on, man. That was kind of the introduction to the story. So now it picks up with the back and forth stuff I mentioned earlier. Chapter 1, The Pool Party.
The pool party.
Lizzie stared in disbelief. Antonio in a tight Speedo suit, fire red around his waist. He looked like one of those muscle men guys on those competitions that she saw on TV. Lizzie, how are you today? He said. She told him about how she felt and how she hadn't seen Scott all summer and how she had feelings for him, and Antonio smiled. Well, if things don't work out with Scott, I'll be here for you. Even if things do work out, I'm always here for you, Lizzie. Always here for you. Lizzie blushed. It was nice not to have to try to be popular and try to always be in the limelight. The summer break had proven that when Lizzie and Trisha were... When Lizzie and Trisha were still friends, Lizzie didn't have to worry about stuff like that, like wearing the right clothes, hanging out with the right people, reading all the right magazines, having perfect hair, being with the in crowd all the time, or the in crowd at all the right parties. With Scott, she realized it was like dating a prince, and she was a princess, and the school was her kingdom, because people seemed to bow down to her. Part of her missed that, but part of her hated the attention she got. She wondered why she was having these feelings. She wasn't sure. She looked at Antonia with want, and yet she was afraid of that want. Something different, something unfamiliar. I can see the confusion in your eyes, Antonia said. Maybe this might clear your mind, he said, and began to kiss her.
Yes.
Lizzie felt every concern melt away as she closed her eyes. It was like flying in the sky, lit with a fire of passion, and she was kissing him back with the same intensity. It was aggressive in a tender way.
Antonio, what the
passion,
fuck?
His lips so soft and warm.
She's taken, bro.
He smelled like pool water, his cologne, and the faint smell of those strawberry cigarillos he smoked.
And those cigarillos.
She was electrified. Her hands and arms embraced against his bulging biceps and shoulders. His hands around her waist, embraced with the heat of the moment. She felt every inch of her body scream with lust and desire, hot and tingly all over when she saw her mom standing in the doorway. She pulled away quickly, blushing red as Antonio turned around. Miss Johnson, the pool is clean and fixed, Antonio said as he got up, trying to hide the excitement raging in the fire red speedo of his. Lizzie looked, and for a brief 2 seconds, which seemed to be an eternity, she noticed the excitement raging in his speedo. Wow, she thought. Me kissing him got him all hot and bothered like that. Wow. He's huge. Wait, why am I thinking like this? She thought, I'm Scott. And then, with the biggest smirk on her face.
Wait a minute, why am I thinking like this? Well, I mean, you did just kiss him. I don't know, brother.
Lizzie's mom asked her mom to come in and help with the party supplies. So, Joanne said, I see you've met Antonio. Lizzie groaned. Lizzie never liked talking to her mom about guys because her mom could be such a perv about it, and it made things worse considering her mom was in her late 30s and was married three times. Yeah, we've met on more than one occasion, I first met him at work, Lizzie said. What happened to you and Scott? Did you two break up? I liked him. He was so handsome and a lot of potential. Are you dating Antonio? Joanne asked. Lizzie said nothing. Nothing happened to Scott. We were taking a break from summer and getting back together at the beginning of the school.
Nothing happened
Me
to
and Antonio are just friends. Mom, God, why do you care? Why did you and Scott take a break? She asked Lizzie. Well, said Lizzie, Scott wanted to have sex and I wasn't ready, and it caused a snag in our relationship. Lizzie thought back to how long she'd been dating Scott since the middle school, and as a result, her popularity increased because Scott chose her over Trisha, and was Trisha mad? Lizzie was the first to blossom in her class, and every guy in middle school had taken notice. When she came back from summer break in her 8th grade year to Bridgedale Junior High, Lizzie hadn't expected it. One day she just woke up, and there she was, curvy with a full chest and starting her period. God, what fun it was for her mom. At the time, she was married to the gay guy before they divorced, and he killed himself. Todd was as giddy as her mom. Oh, look, Joanne, our little Lizzie's growing up. Joanne started explaining about the birds and the bees and about periods. Lizzie felt at the time like it was all too much. Being 13 years old and at the time entering into a woman, as her mom had put it, and then to top it all off, embarrassing things was Todd and Joanne taking her bra shopping. Lizzie getting excited. Wait, not Lizzie, excuse me. Todd getting excited about the colors and the fabrics of Victoria's Secret's panties and bras, which made Lizzie wonder if he was gay. Her quizzical look showed, and he merely said he was a fashion designer, and I'm getting inspiration from my fall line. Joanne had met Todd at a wine tasting event hosted by her winery, and Joanne and Todd had headed off with the taste of wine and fashion. Joanne had been tickled pink to be dating an exquisite wine connoisseur and fashion designer, and they were married within a month of dating, topped with a romantic proposal by Todd at the most expensive and fanciest dining restaurant in town, the Blue Oyster.
The Blue Oyster.
Lizzie had trouble adjusting to her stepfather, still grieving about her father's untimely death, topped all with hitting puberty and hormones. Complexity.
I wonder if actually, now that I'm thinking about it, both the main character, Lizzie, and her friend Trisha, obviously having alcoholic parents, is that a hit on Clint, or is that a Clint who is his father? Is that a hit on Laura being his birth mother, who is just out there somewhere. No one really knows where she is. She kind of just kind of dipped. She's somewhere, but no one knows. But she apparently has some kind of issues. But I know he's mentioned Clint being into alcohol before, so it's kind of curious as to, you know, there's a lot of Cobra in this story. I'm wondering like where it's shining through the most.
Bruce, her father, had talked to her about boys, telling her where to kick them to get the word no across, and telling her it was her body and she had the right to be with whomever she wanted. Lizzie liked the down-to-earth way her father, Bruce, had put things into perspective. Lizzie, he said, you're getting older and are likely to hit puberty soon, and boys will notice, and girls will get envious of the attention you get. Just remember, no matter what happens, Daddy's here for you, and I'll always love you, and no matter what. And no matter what. Okay, no matter. He hugged her, and he looked sick. So he hugged her, and he looked sick. He hardly ate anything and spent most of his time in his study. His study was full of bookshelves, filled with books, and it had a fancy marble fireplace. In front of the fireplace was a large and very comfortable leather chair. In the corner was his desk and computer, where he worked late into the night, making sure that the sales and taxes and inventory of his winery were up to date. Next to the desk was a liquor cabinet filled with expensive scotch and whiskey. On top of the cabinet was a pipe shelf, which held a small collection of tobacco pipes. and the little shelf next to the cabinet had jars of fine pipe tobacco and a tobacco pipe stuff. The grandfather clock that sat by the bookshelves was large and old and had
Cobra's
a
really
loud
big into
chime to
pipe
it.
tobacco.
Lizzie remembered sitting with her dad in his study, the sweet smell of pipe tobacco and the fire crackling in the fireplace, sitting on his lap while he sat in his big brown British leather chair by the fire.
British leather chair. The BBCC, the big brown, no, the BBBCC, the BBBLC, the big brown British leather chair. Why is it British? The BBBLC? What the hell?
Expensive side table sat to the right of it a glass of scotch or whiskey next to the pipe ashtray and a pipe tool and pipe lighter. Next to the ashtray were pipe cleaners. Next to the lighter. Okay. She remembered sitting on top of his lap while he gave her advice about life while puffing on his pipe. She remembered it all, how pale he looked as the grandfather clock chimed 8, and he said, "Well, it's time for bed, young lady. Better get some sleep. Tomorrow's a new day." Her mother came into the study to help her to bed and tuck her into bed so she could spend some alone time with Bruce. She remembered how he got worse over the month, and one fall evening she watched her father collapse to the floor of the study, the glass of scotch falling to his side, dumping the contents onto the floor. She ran to his side, crying, "Daddy, are you okay?"
No, he's dead,
she said. He smiled wearily. He said, "I'm very sick, Liz." He staggered up to his feet and sat down in the chair by the fireplace. Rubbing his stomach in pain, Lizzie picked up the glass
his stomach cancer feels bad, man.
And placed it on the side table. The fire crackling in the depths of the marble fireplace. Joanne came and stood next to Bruce, rubbing his shoulders. "Wow," Bruce said. "I'm one lucky fellow. I have the two most beautiful girls next to me." Joanne's hands tightened on Bruce's shoulders when Lizzie went and sat on his lap.
Did not get a Brucey bonus on this one, dude.
Sorry. "I love you both so very much," she said. He let out a long, low breath as the fire crackled in dimmers. "I love you too, Daddy," Lizzie said. "Daddy? Daddy? Dad? Mommy, what's wrong with Daddy?
I was dying right now.
Isn't he moving?" Joanne was crying. "Mommy, why are you crying, Mommy?" Lizzie said she leaned in and kissed her dad and on the cheeks and began hugging him, hoping this would make him move again, but it didn't.
Oh no, it's over. R.I.P.
Wow. It's been a while since I've read the story.
That was a weird flashback.
Holy shit.
Like the flashback we started kissing the pool boy. He got erect. The mother walked in, saw him erect. She talked to the mother. Then she went into a story about how she's embarrassed by her mother talking about her about women, about men and becoming a woman. And then that transitioned into her talking about her dad dying. So that's pretty cool.
We shall continue then. Losing her dad was hard. The funeral was harder. She had so many questions, like what happened when you die? Where do you go when you die? Lizzie asked her mom, but her mom couldn't answer them. Then Todd came into her life, and things got even more confusing. Why did Mommy love Todd? Why doesn't she love Daddy anymore?
Shut Todd.
She had asked her mom these questions, and her mom said, "Lizzie, I'll always love your father, but Bruce is gone, and Mommy has needs. She needs fulfilled, and Todd can help me with those needs." By needs, Joanne meant sex, companionship, and someone.
Oh, she actually meant
A month after the bra shopping incident, Lizzie had just turned 14. Todd was in study, and Mom was with him.
Any Todd fans out there?
They were talking. Mom was drunk, and Todd was crying. "Look, Joanne, I have to confess something." He said he's gay, and
he said he's gay. I thought he was gay.
Mom wasn't too thrilled about it. "Oh my God," she said, "I had sex with him and married a faggot, Todd." Fag? I said, "Todd, how could you do this to me?" "It's not about you," Todd said angrily. "I just realized I'm gay. I don't want this to be a thing where I go off."
Hold on. I'm gonna find this part of the song. Hold on. Let's go. Didn't claim this shit.
In Canada,
No, shut up.
we have a taste for cold. Like refreshing quenchers, naturally flavored in peach, strawberry watermelon, and passion fruit tea lemonade. Your favorite summer drink, quenchers. It's time for Tim's.
15 seconds.
Take, I'm ready to take. My bitch, she got cake. We stay in the house. I just got a cake face. I'm serving that base, Let me get it put that simple Celine. That's a goldie. I love her rock star beast. Cool with a cutter. Posted with my bitch, she got cake. My bitch, she got cake. I'm robbing. Posted with my brother. Yeah, he got a mom. I'm robbing the bank. I'm ready to take. Got cake. My bitch, she got cake. Stay in the house. In that base. I got me some thoughts. He got a mom.
Hold on.
They thought I was gay.
Found it.
In that base. I got me some thoughts. They thought I was gay.
They thought he was gay. They thought he was gay.
The fears of a strange man, leaving you in the dark. I love you, he said. You are the most amazing woman I've ever met, but I can't live in the closet anymore. I feel great letting go of the fear and guilt. He then called his dad and mom and let them know. I have no son, his dad said. His mom was speechless. I don't even know who you are anymore, she said. Don't call or contact us ever again, his father said, and slammed the phone down. Todd was crying even harder now. My own mother and father turned against me. Oh my God, why? Joanne was livid. Who gives a damn about your stupid parents? She said, shuddering as though a chill had come over her. Get the fuck out of my house, you fag, and I hope you burn hell if you're gay, as she yelled. Todd ran across the room, opening a cabinet at the end of the room. I can't live life like this, he said, walking across the room to where Joanne stood. He was holding a 44 caliber pistol.
What the?
He pushed it to the side of his right hand and drew the hammer back. The hammer clicked into place and he pulled the trigger. The hammer falling forward. At the same time, the gun went off with a loud bang, spraying chunks of Todd's brains and head all over the floor as he fell to the ground in a puddle of his own blood. Lizzie was horrified. She had never seen such a thing. Her mind was never the same. Her mom was under suspicion for Todd's death, but in the end she was found innocent, and Todd's fashion designer label went to Joanne, who sold it for a big profit, refusing to own anything to do with Todd and his gayness. Lizzie went through counseling, and the entire scandal swept the town. If boys weren't eyeing her with horny expressions, girls were talking in whispers about it, spreading nasty rumors about it, calling her a slut because every guy paid attention to her, and every girl hated her because of all the attention she was getting. Poor Lizzie, they said. Lizzie, on the other hand, hated it. What was worse was Trisha, her only friend, becoming jealous of her as well.
Trisha, no.
Then they met Scott. He moved into town, and every girl had the hots for him. But when Scott chose Lizzie, Trisha called Lizzie a big-breasted bimbo, and Lizzie called Trisha a flat-chested trailer-trash skank. And the two were never friends again. Trisha joined drama, and Lizzie joined cheerleading to be with Scott, and she realized that cheerleading let her have control of something. She found friends and a group to belong with.
I guess they weren't friends.
The popularity she was urged from dating the quarterback and being with the in crowd filled the empty hole in her heart she had from missing her dad, being friends with Trisha, and trying to live a normal life. Trisha joined drama to be with the group and found acceptance as well. Also filling a void of living with a deadbeat dad who drank too much, living in the trailer park, and losing her best friend to the popular kids. In the end, Lizzie and Trisha had realized that money and social class had mattered, at least it mattered in middle school, and
they became friends again. Okay, never mind. So we're good now.
Had torn them apart, and now after years of hating and years of jocks, female athletes, cheerleaders, and drama geeks, and nerds, and social outcasts fighting a war in high school, of which Trisha held the army of unacceptable, and Lizzie an army of popular kids. It was a daily thing. Ironically enough, the school system preached about zero tolerance for bullying and fighting it, yet they let it go on in their very halls.
get through, huh, Cobra? I could feel him just kind of struggling on that one, but he made it through.
I should deliver now. It's a little cold here.
Made it through, boys. I could jump in the speed, I'm not going to. Doing some basic plans.
Starting to sober up a little bit, so I get a clear head when I go to bed, so I don't wake up with a hangover. Stop at a cigarette break.
Cig break, let's go.
It's probably gone to my coworker Sam, but he didn't show up to work. He claimed he had family issues, and he never showed up to work again. So I hope he's all right, wherever he is. Best wishes, of course.
I guess he fucking died.
Because he just started Wendy's, and he was nervous, and I've been there, so I talked to him. Hey man, how's it going? And I think that's really cool. I can do something like that. When someone new comes into Wendy's and they don't know the job, they're nervous, don't know anybody. The new guy basically. I like to make them feel welcome with a handshake. Hey, how's it going? How you feeling today? Oh, I'm nervous. That happens. Like, hey, it's my first time. I remember my first time at Wendy's, dude. And it just makes them feel more comfortable starting off at work, so they don't feel so stressed. And then I, kind of do the best I can to help them out, let them know what's going on with Wendy's and about each person. I don't spread rumors, of course, but I know that there's certain people you do not want to piss off at Wendy's. There's just certain people you don't want to piss off. And it's not out of fear, it's out of respect for my coworkers, because if you piss them off, then by the end of the day, everyone's pissed. And it's unfortunate that shit happens, but it's fast food, so, some of them have been in fast food since they were 16s, and they're now managers, so I couldn't imagine doing that the rest of my life. Now, if I had to, I wouldn't mind,
Sadly, he did not.
Just have a job, It's a positive way to look at it, I guess.
Now, as someone who recently got fired from a shitty job, for shitty reasons, not like Cobra. Cobra, I think, back to the point first. Fired from a shitty job for shitty reasons. Now, I have other shit to do, so I don't necessarily mind, but it's not very cool to just kind of lose your job out of nowhere. Even if it's just a shitty part-time job, a literal gig that you do for whatever. It's kind of unfortunate to lose that job. You like having it. It's a thing to do. Help me fix my sleep schedule too. But for Cobra, who doesn't really have to do anything, for him losing his job is probably a big point of like him not being not doing things anymore, if that makes sense. He just kind of lost a lot of purpose. He had no reason to get up early or get out besides like just kind of now he just has to, now when he gets up, it's just like buy liquor with money from like tips or whatever, as opposed to like going up to go to work. It gives you a purpose, even if it's like a really shitty purpose. So this motherfucker, this guy who, I don't know if he wanted attention or if he thought he was like, he's one of those rare people, because as someone who like studies, I won't say study, but as someone who like thinks about lolcows a lot, there's people who will say they'll do some trolling, and they don't do any trolling. And usually when you think of like an A-log, these are people who have like really shitty plans to try to ruin a lolcow, because they feel some kind of weird actual dislike towards a lolcow, not just like they think they're funny. If that makes sense, like they seem to actually, they feel spite towards a lolcow for existing, and not just, they don't just think it's funny. They want to actually ruin their life. And usually these people, like, they'll post a comment about somewhere, and they'll get told off, and they'll get told, you're being an asshole. Stop being an A-log. We don't actually want to ruin this guy's life. That's a shit move. He's not even fully a bad person in most cases. It's just kind of a dude who's a dumbass on the internet, and not like an actual criminal or some shit, like a pedophile. It's just some dude. But this dude thought because Josh like had bad hygiene at home and fucked up at work, he made up a fake story about Josh like being rude in Wendy's, sent it to that Wendy's, and got Josh fired. Right? Usually people will actually not go through with their plan because they do it for some kind of like affirmation. What this guy did was he kind of like, he's rare in the case that he just did it, which I kind of commend that in some way, Because a lot of fuckers will just say they'll do shit and they actually won't do shit. So him actually saying, you know what, I'll fucking just do it, and he just actually just doing it is kind of cool. It's not cool, but it's not like the classic, I'm gonna do it for like, because I want people to approve of me. He just did it because he really didn't like Josh, I guess, for some reason. So it's not cool, but it's a bit more, it's not as bitchy as some other A-logs. But he got Josh fired. People, I think, got him fired from his job, which is pretty cool. He deserved it. And now Josh hasn't had a job since. He did some odd jobs here and there, but he never really got a job again. So for that reason, he's kind of just sitting around. He's kind of just sitting around, pissing around, doing whatever Josh do. And that's the story of KingCobraJFS. That's why he's where he is now. If you catch him on a stream, he'll be ranting, he'll be talking, he'll be shitting, pissing, farting. Because he doesn't really have a job. And he's unenthused from getting a job because he's really paranoid about his trolls. So because of that, because of his trolls making him paranoid, it's both them making him paranoid and him being like overly paranoid. So now he just doesn't even want to try getting a job because it's like, A, he doesn't have to, and B, A, he's lazy, and B, it's like, even if I get a job, the trolls are going to ruin it. It's kind of like it's like a lot of locales, really, where it's like, well, guys, I can't get a job because the trolls are going to ruin it for me. They're going to try to get me fired. If you Google search me, you'll find all these things about me that I didn't even say or do. Now, of course, you'll find things that I did say or do, but, you get the picture. It's usually an excuse what Josh has a precedent for, which is that he actually did lose an opportunity because of a troll. Now, other trolls, retaliated against him, but there's no precedent for it never happening again. Besides just someone, because like I said, for every troll who announces they're gonna do a thing, and doesn't do it. There's one who announces it and then does do it, or there's one who just does it and doesn't announce it at all. Now, the trolls who are cool usually will announce it and will usually not announce it and just do it. And the lame masses will announce it and not do it because they get bitched out by other trolls. Because they announce their plans, they announce their ops. Like I said, don't announce your own ops, dumbass. But for the trolls who just don't announce it at all, or announce
like I said, there's a lot of current controversial issues. The hate towards homosexuals, puberty, hormone stress, all that,
Hate towards
homosexuals. In some ways, someone can relate to the story and go,
modern issues.
This is brilliant.
I think
totally get this.
And then, puberty has been a thing for a long time, bro. I'm not going to lie to you. Especially puberty. It's kind of been a thing since the dawn of time. Dawn of humanity, at least.
Perfectly straight. I don't desire to have sex or be with men.
Okay.
I like women.
All right.
But I'm not afraid to show my feminine side and be my quirky, weird self. And some people are offended by that because they're insecure at themselves. So they lash out with the fairy, you're a fag, blah, 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 comments like that. It's just challenging and mature.
Any fairies?
You have always your black buddy. Sad for them.
Shout out to my fairies out there.
Because I like a feeling I'm going places in my life, man. There's still going to be trolling people like me on YouTube doing nothing with their lives.
Any fruits out there?
And I feel bad for them, I really do.
Any fruits and my fairies out there? If you are a fruit or fairy, hit me up. It's a sus sentence right there. Very questionable. But I can't take it back. I guess I lost. I don't know why he's green. Green is Cobra's favorite color, I think. Cobra really likes green, so he's Antonio, I think his name is.
After this video, and
is a green guy.
Trying the PS2 and play some Tony Hawk. I can play Proving Ground, Underground 1 and 2, Pro Skater 2 or 4. I don't know which one I'll play. Or something. I might just go to bed. I'm fucking tired. Been partying my ass off by myself for a night and a whole day straight, and I need my beauty rest.
Party animal King Cobra, let's go. That's our guy. That's our lad.
Alright. One nicotine fix.
It's so much easier doing like
alright, let's continue the story, shall we?
When you're able to do it in the middle of the day and not like at the end of the day. Now, able to do so is kind of a bad term because I just do it at really late at night.
Joanne started going to church for fear of marrying Todd, who was gay. That's when she met Steven. They started talking and things got heated. Things got heated up, and then dating and marriage, with all of it in 2 months of Todd's suicide. Stephen was a problem drinker just like Joanne, but it came with a foul temper and a strict Catholic way. Lizzie hated Stephen, and she thought her mom was moving a bit faster than men. I'm not getting any younger, her mom said. At least this one's manly, not some prissy little fag like Todd was, she said. Lizzie had a bad feeling that the marriage wouldn't last long either. And she was right. Now, fair warning, these next couple of paragraphs here are pretty graphic. There's some scenarios involved that may not be suitable for young viewers. So, you have been warned. This is what I'd take as just one of my stories.
Thanks for the content warning, I guess.
Here we go. You've been warned.
We don't need a
One night, both Joanne and Stephen have had too much to drink, and Stephen was still drinking. They were in the study yelling. I don't know what you and Bruce were. I didn't know you and Bruce were old high school rivals, Joanne said to Stephen. Yeah, well, he had everything, didn't he? He had money, looks, popularity, and then you, Stephen said. Me, Joanne said. I always had a crush on you in high school, he said, but you thought of me as scum on the back of your stiletto heels because I wasn't one of the rich assholes you and Bruce hung out with.
Coming out.
Well, he's burning in hell right now, and I have you. He slammed his 20th shot of that night, smirking as he walked over to the large portrait of Bruce hanging above the fireplace in his best suit, hands crossed together at his stomach, smiling. It was before the cancer had eaten him away. He flipped off the portrait with his left hand. Fuck you, Bruce, he said in a drunken slur. Who's on top now? Which has it all?
That's something that Cobra would do, actually, I think. If someone who Cobra really hated died, I do think Cobra would, like, get a picture of them. It sounds like on his computer, and he would, like, flip it off. I also think that if, like, Ozzy died, if is a bad way to put it. When Ozzy dies, that's a bad way to put it. When Ozzy invariably dies, because Ozzy Osbourne is an old fucker, isn't it? A bit of an old fucker. You know, no offense, no offense meant. Ozzy Osbourne is an old fucker. What else is there to say? When Ozzy dies, I do think Cobra would actually, like, take a poster of him and, like, cry to the poster. Which, you know, I don't want to laugh at another man dying, so I'm not going to. But I just like the scenario here where, like, the guy who's meant to be an asshole in the story, the abusive father character, is, like, you know, he's doing something that Cobra would definitely do if Cobra was, you know, if something would happen, like, along those lines, Cobra would absolutely just, like, cry over a picture of Ozzy and flip off a picture of, like, I don't know, who does Cobra hate? I would say Justin Bieber, but not really. Maybe, like, I don't know. I don't know who Cobra, like, if maybe, like, Anita, like, Sarkeesian was to die? Maybe Anita. But even then, I don't think he actually hates her for her. He hates her for, like, people on the internet telling him to hate her. So it's kind of like a bit of a scenario. It's a bit curious, actually. I don't think Cobra actually hates anyone, per se. He just has a lot of dislikes for people. But whatever, who knows? We'll find out when it happens.
Now, which has Joanne now, you silly, slimy, rich, preppy prick? Joanne was shocked. I don't know what Bruce could have done to you, but for fuck's sake, Stephen, Joanne said. And have you seen the way your daughter dresses? Why, she's flaunting it to the whole damn world, just as I would expect some little tramp to be raised by Bruce, he said. Don't you dare talk about Bruce in that way, or my daughter, for that matter. Bruce was 8 times the father you'll ever be.
8 times the father.
Joanne said. That did it. Stephen snapped and slapped Joanne across the face. Stephen, Why do you hit me? Joanne said. Because it's not a woman's place to talk like back to the man of the house, Stephen said. Joanne shrieked. Bruce is 20 times the man you'll ever be, Stephen. Okay, here it comes.
Here it comes.
Stephen pinned her to the back leather chair in front of the fireplace.
No.
He punched her in the stomach and then punched her in the right ear. You will respect the man of the house, he said, and the man is me. He began to rip off her dress, a hungered look in his eyes. Joanne whimpered from the pain. No, Stephen, I'll be good, I promise. She said, it's late, Stephen.
Exclamation point, no.
Too late, Stephen said, laughing. No, Stephen, she said, please not tonight.
No.
It was no use. Stephen had her pinned against the big leather chair, nude, crying. This is really good. I'm already hard, Stephen said nastily. Up in her room, Lizzie heard as Stephen raped her mother.
Oh.
Her cries of pain, her begging for it to stop. No, Stephen, I'm not flexible like that. Oh,
that is
God, why?
Terrible one.
She screamed. Lizzie was scared.
His huge arm. His
angry.
Huge arm.
What could she do? 40 minutes of listening to her mom suffer, and Lizzie snapped. She ran down the hall into her parents' bedroom and grabbed the .44 caliber pistol, and sliding the cylinder to the side while she heard her mom scream, loaded each chamber with a bullet, and sliding the cylinder closed, ran downstairs to the study door. Hearing the suffering of her mom, this monster had to be dealt with, she thought.
Holy shit.
Lizzie,
let's go.
Lizzie had heard Stephen slap her mother around on too many occasions before, but this time he'd gone too far. Enough was enough. When I'm done with you, Stephen said, laughing, I think your slutty daughter's next, he said, laughing, as Joanne screamed, no. That did it. Lizzie burst through the door with the .44 caliber pistol in front of her. Get the fuck away from my mom, you bastard, she screamed as she cocked the hammer back and pointed at Stephen's head. Stephen looked up from the tipped-over chair on its back, naked from the waist down, with Joanne's ankles in his hands, her legs twisted around either side of the chair arms. You don't know how to use that thing, Stephen said. Want to bet? She said, and she pulled the trigger, missing Stephen's head by a mere second. She stood ready for the next shot. I've got 5 more shots, Stephen. Get out or fucking die, your choice. And another thing, women are people, we have rights, and we deserve equal treatment. My dad Bruce taught me that, and he taught me how to use a gun, so it's your choice, get out or die. Well, said Stephen, look who grew a pair, he said, laughing, pulling up his briefs and pants and zipping them up and buttoning them up and walking towards Lizzie. Lizzie stood ready to shoot. Lizzie, he said, let's put the gun down and talk about this. Fuck talking, she said as she ran over and jammed the gun to his forehead and cocking the hammer back. She said, your choice, asswipe, get out or die.
Let's go.
Joanne looked up in her daughter's eyes. The anger in them was something to behold. The dark lime green eyes held cold hatred.
Let's go.
Just then the cops burst through the door and into the study. Police, hands up, drop the gun. The 2 police officers
drop the gun. She's like 13.
had their pistols drawn. Lizzie backed away and put the gun down on the bookshelf. Officers, arrest her, Stephen said. She tried to kill me. You were raping my mother, you son of a bitch, Lizzie screamed. The cops looked over and saw Joanne on the fallen over chair, bleeding from her ear. Cops put 2 and 2 together and arrested Stephen. Joanne was treated at the hospital and Stephen was thrown in jail.
Let's go, fuck him up.
After they talked to Lizzie and her mother about what had happened, they took notes, and in a trial, Stephen was sentenced to 28 years behind bars, and within 2 days in prison, he was murdered in jail. A jailmate strangled him to death.
Yeah, fuck him up.
Hard, gritty real life, in-your-face action, with a touch of feminine romance novel. Boom. Let's continue, shall we? The second biggest scandal that hit Lizzie, and the whole town was made aware of every detail. Just when Lizzie had gotten past the Todd scandal, now the whole Stephen incident happened. Boys were even more attracted to her now. She shoots guns too, that's sexy, they'd said. The girls on the other hand, treated her like a hospital patient that they hated. You poor thing, they said. You're so unlucky these days. Lizzie hated school, hated home life. Now her mom had become an unbearable drunk and blamed everything on Lizzie. It's your entire fault, you little shit. Things were going good until you went and fucked everything up. Lizzie was madder than ever before. I saved your life and this time you repay me by blaming me for everything? God, Mom, you're so unbearable. And this is when Lizzie picked up smoking cigarettes to relieve the stress of her life. I'm thinking this would be a kick-ass movie, dude. Just a really one of those powerful movies that grabs you, man. So, yeah. Oh, there's more. There's a lot more.
More what?
And honestly, I don't care what you think of me about reading the story. I'm just, some fans have been asking, hey, you should read your novel, what you have on YouTube. So I figured, fuck it, Lizzie's mom looked at her. Lizzie, I know I haven't been Mother of the Year, but I'm trying. I've slowed down on my drinking, and I'm trying to make the best of our life here. Lizzie looked at her mother with disgust. Do you even remember half the things you said to me when you're wasted? Lizzie said. How it's my fault you can't pick good men, and how you move too fast and marry. First one that pops up in our little lives, Lizzie said. Can you at least come out to the front and help me carry in the party supplies from the car, her mother said. They walked out into the driveway, and Lizzie stopped in utter horror. What's that? Lizzie said, pointing to a 1966 slug bug. It was hot pink, and the chrome was shiny as a brand new quarter. Your car, Mom said. Isn't it cute? Lizzie was pissed. Mom, I was saving up for a hot pink Porsche, she said. Well, this'll be so much better on gas than a Porsche. The gas prices are so high these days, and quite frankly, these bugs have become quite the collector's car. And I used your savings to pay for the party, so this is kind of an early birthday present, and I'm sorry present, she said. What happened to the money you had been saving for the party? Lizzie said, in a cold and disgusted tone. Well, her mother said I invested it in the stock market to try and make some extra money, and lost it all. You, out of nowhere, decided to invest in the stock market for the first time and lost all your savings for the party, Lizzie said. God, Mom, sometimes I think I'm the adult here. We have more money than you realize. We live in the Heights and have a mansion with a heated pool and a pool house. Do you know how many times I've had to help you to bed because you were too shit-faced to even walk? Lizzie said. The windows were tinted royal purple. You're lucky I even gave 2 squirts of piss to even buy you a car, Mother said. Purple. Have a look at the interior.
The interior.
Her mother said as she opened the door. The interior was decorated in royal purple shag carpet with thick royal purple furry seats and furry royal purple steering and wheel cover, and royal purple furry dash and panels. There was a CD player and royal purple speakers in the doors, the front and back. Ask your favorite colors, her mother said, royal purple and hot pink. And the speakers have bass that you can adjust from the CD player, her mother said. Look at the plate, it says Lizzie in royal purple leathers.
Royal purple.
And a horn, her mom said as she honked it, the horn growing out with a Lizzie was speechless. This car would be the laughing stock of Ridgedale High. Gee, thanks, Mom, Lizzie said in a sarcastic tone. Her mom said, you're welcome, ignoring the sarcastic tone.
Literal free car. No, this shit sucks. I didn't want that.
She handed Lizzie the key to her slug bug. Lizzie took it and getting in the car and started it. The slug bug sputtered to life, backfiring with a huge cloud of smog. Antonio came out of the house dressed in jeans and a white t-shirt. Nice car, he said, smiling. Lizzie smiled half-heartedly. I'm going to the mall to get a new bikini, Lizzie said. Take Antonio with you, Lizzie's mom said.
Now?
Lizzie was blushing red as Antonio got in the slug bug and shut the door. Have fun, you two.
That was like a full-ass chapter. Jesus Christ.
Okay, let's get to the... next page. Lizzie's mom said. Lizzie shut her door and reaching over and pulling her royal purple shoulder strap over and buckled up. Antonio did the same, and Lizzie the same as Lizzie, and she backed out of the driveway, her car coughing up smog as she drove down the road. This car is definitely vibrant, Antonio said as he ran his fingers through the door paneling. Who does she think she is? Lizzie said. Lizzie pulled out a pack of Marlboro Smooth 100s and pulling out a cigarette and cracking the window as she lit her cigarette, taking a long drag and exhaling it. Lizzie said, taking out my hard-earned money to pay for their stupid party because she can't even afford it. Antonio cracked the window and lit up one of his strawberry cigarillos. As he exhaled a mouthful of sweet smelling tobacco, he said, "At least she bought you a car. You're lucky. My parents couldn't afford a car.
Yeah, she literally got a free car.
Customized." He looked around the car uncomfortably. Lucy could tell that Antonio didn't care for the girly looks of the slug bug. "I've been working on a car at home," Antonio said, "and when it's done, it'll be a badass ride, and I'm paying for all of it through hard work and labor." Antonio looked over at Lizzie, who looked uncomfortable. "I didn't mean it to come out the way it did," she said, "like I'm one of those rich, bratty girls who complains about life not being perfect."
But you are, though.
Lizzie said, "You're not a girl, you're a young woman, and life is never perfect for anyone," Antonio said. "But we make the best of what life gives us, and make it worthwhile," Antonio said. Lizzie remembered a time when she and Tricia used to be friends, and Lizzie was hanging out at Tricia's place. Tricia's dad was passed on, and Tricia was on the floor in her room, Lizzie drawing. Tricia was drawing fairies. She was quite the artist. "Tricia, how can you stand it, living like this? Drunken dad and no mother, and you're such a good artist," Lizzie said. "I'm just trying to make the best of a shitty life," Tricia said. Lizzie reached over and turned on the radio in her car. She knew Antonio liked to listen to rock, so she turned it to the rock station. Dirty Little Secret was playing. They arrived at the mall after several songs had played. 3 Days Grace, Never Too Late, Linkin Park, and The End, and Love Bites by Def Leppard. Lizzie liked this kind of music. It made her feel free and wild, and didn't drown out like the music her friends listened to, which until now Lizzie had liked, but now she liked rock. They found a parking space, and while Lizzie started another cigarette, Antonio was finishing up his strawberry cigarillo. In the distance, a loud, ratty V8 dual exhaust engine roared into the parking lot. And then, squealing around the corner, came a 1966 Mustang. It was a convertible with a black top folded down and body and baby blue paint. It was faded, and there were rust spots here and there on the car, and it was in the car.
Was he smoking?
And baby blue paint that was faded, and there were rust spots here and there. There in the car, and in the driver sat Tricia with a lit cigarette in her mouth. She pulled up to a stop next to the slug bug, turned off the car, and kicked her heels up on the dashboard, jamming out to AC/DC. Antonio took notice, and Lizzie looked over in disgust. Tricia had grown over the... Oh, shit. I must have skipped something.
The printed out story, too, is pretty good.
I skipped the page.
The printed out story.
Tricia had grown over the
presentation.
Over the sun.
Fuck! I did the lines on I did the cars on the lines. I messed up my layers.
Tricia had grown over the summer. Her chest was bigger. She was curvy. How had that happened, Lizzie thought, as she'd gone a little state like that and then grown even more. Tricia was wearing a black tube top that was very low cut and a plaid punk mini skirt that came well above her thigh. Black fishnet stockings and steel-toe iron boots that were black.
Babe, I can fix this, please. It's all falling apart. I put the
Tricia looked up at the slug bug parked next to her and smirked. "Nice bug, Lizzie," she said sarcastically. Lizzie glared at her. "Nice bucket of bullets," Lizzie said, glaring at Tricia. "This isn't a bucket of bullets," Tricia said. "It's a 66 Mustang convertible. And she's one mean machine." "How'd you afford an old Mustang like that?" Lizzie said. "I got a job working for a company testing out a new wonder drug that's going to revolutionize the world. I started taking it and it's working perfectly," Tricia said. "It's this new drug that helps women develop bigger tits and makes them curvier and skinnier. It's called Stellar. One dosage is all you need to make you more attractive and avoid expensive plastic surgery." Tricia said, smiling, and I'll be in a commercial to show the results and everything, and there's a nice paycheck every week just for being a guinea pig for this new wonder drug and being in the commercial. It could have killed her, Lizzie thought. Damn, too bad it didn't, Lizzie thought angrily. Anyway, I'm bikini shopping for my commercial, Tricia smiled. And the best part is, my dad got a job working at your mom's stupid winery, working in the shipping and handling for $11 an hour. So I'll see you at the pool party, Tricia said. Nice seeing you again, Antonio, Tricia said. And she put her cigarette butt in the ashtray and putting it at the top of her convertible, top of her Mustang. Putting the top up on her Mustang, she got out, locked the doors, and headed to the mall entrance. Okay.
Motherfucker.
Lizzie was beyond pissed. Ever since Tricia and Lizzie stopped being friends, they've been trying to outdo each other. How do you know Tricia? Lizzie asked Antonio.
Yeah.
We are neighbors, Antonio said. I helped her work on our Mustang, he said. Lizzie had a vision of Antonio with his shirt off.
Give me a single second real quick. Yeah, sorry, some non-reprogrammed African Americans
work jeans covered in grease with his faded black work boots, with Tricia in black Daisy Duke shorts and that very low-cut black tube top she was wearing, also covered in grease, laughing with Antonio as they worked on the Mustang together. And then the vision became heated as Antonio picked up Tricia by the waist and sitting on the front of the Mustang began to kiss her a heated, passionate way. Fondling her and getting all worked up. Her greasy hands fondling him. She punched the horn and it honked with the same lowering awooga, anger coursing through her veins. It was as though Antonio could read her mind. He said, we had a brief summer fling, but we wanted to cool off because she wanted sex and I wasn't ready. I'm waiting for the right moment and the right woman, he said, but it was hard to deny her in those black shorts and that top she was wearing. Lizzie looked over at Antonio. She felt the world spin. He was the perfect guy after all. Then she wondered about Scott, and the same agonizing battle entered her head about popularity and her social life at Bridge Joe High. Then she remembered why she came to the mall in the first place, to go shopping for a bikini for her mom's stupid pool party. Now, let's explain a couple of things.
Okay.
Now, with our society's obsession with looks and being the best, we flaw on our body parts being certain sizes, and you get that with a lot of people, unfortunately. And yeah, it's kind of playing out society's bullshit too in the story. So.
I can tell. Don't worry, dog. I guess.
That's why I see it anyway. Lizzie and Antonio got out of the slow bug and began walking towards the mall entrance.
That's
in
hilarious.
Awkward silence.
Bro took a
Lizzie
perk,
pondering the thoughts that entered her head.
The perk hit. The perk.
Tricia and Antonio had some fling. Tricia had a job and
he's already here. He's already here.
Money.
The perk
Her
hit.
dad works for the winery now.
It's over.
Tricia and Antonio kissing on that wretched Mustang of hers. They both work on cars and live in the trailer park. They have more in common than me and Antonio do. But I'm with Scott. Why do I care about Antonio?
Hilarious.
And Tricia's summer fling. And a loud, high-pitched voice screaming, Lizzie, oh my God. Lizzie looked just up to see her friend from cheerleading, Rebecca. Rebecca had bleach blonde, highlighted hair, hazel eyes, perky double C's, and a small curvy waist, and perfect skin free of blemish. Rebecca, Lizzie said, grinning, and then she ran forward to hug her. How was your trip to Paris? Lizzie asked her. Amazing, Rebecca said. Just look at my tan that I got in Europe, she said, smiling. It's a mouthful of perfect white teeth. So, who's your friend? Rebecca asked, putting on her seductive face, pouting her luscious lips and batting her eyelids. God, she's so fake, Lizzie thought. Look at the way her eyes look.
She's so fake.
Like she wants to screw his brains out or something. Ugh, what a slouch. This is Antonio, Lizzie said. Antonio shook hands with Rebecca. Nice to meet you, he said. The pleasure is all mine, big boy, Rebecca said, laughing and flipping her hair. With Lizzie had the sudden urge to punch Rebecca. Who does she think she is? Lizzie thought. Then another voice shouted, Lizzie, Rebecca, OMG. Bria came running up to the three of them, her shining blonde white hair like sunshine on her head, flowing smoothly around her shoulders, pale white, perfect blemish-free skin. Bria was also skinny and had smaller waist than Rebecca, but had double G's like Lizzie and was notorious for being a total airhead. Her light teal eyes looked at Antonio with a hungry expression in her eyes. This is Antonio, Lizzie's friend, Rebecca said. Antonio, Bria said every syllable of his name slowly and seductively, her light teal eyes lighting up when she looked at him. Brie, she said, shaking his hand, eyeing him up and down, taking in every detail just like Rebecca did. You're such an airheaded cow, Lizzie thought angrily as she watched Brie and Antonio exchange handshakes. Why did she care about her friend's horny looks?
Lizzie, chill, please.
They eyed Antonio, Lizzie thought. Did she want to screw his brains out? The answer was yes. Lizzie felt a deep attraction for Antonio that went past his extremely handsome good looks, and she feared that attraction. Why did she have these thoughts? She'd had thoughts of sexual nature before, but these thoughts were different. These thoughts were more vivid, more passionate, and yet she still cared for Scott and her social status at Bridgedale High. Why was she jealous of her friends and the way they eyed Antonio, the way she could easily talk to them, the way they could easily talk to him, the way she could talk to him? After all, she came to the mall with him, didn't she?
Your mom told
me. What about Scott? Would she have feelings for him like that? Would she ever have feelings like that for him? Or
I don't know if he wants Lizzie to be like a cool character, because it sounds like he wants her to be kind of an asshole. Because, like, she's straight up, you know, cheating on her boyfriend, more or less, or she at least intends to, but she's definitely making out with a strange dude. But then she's also, like, super bitter towards her friends. And it's like, you can say, well, you know, it's because they just want to fuck him, and she really cares about him, but it's like, the writing doesn't support that, because we haven't heard them talk to each other since the meeting, so it's kind of just, you know, it sounds like a teenager being fake deep about a guy she just met, and like, you know, oh, I really care about him. Like, do you really care about him, or are you just kind of saying that because you met him first? And I don't know. I can't tell if Lizzie's meant to actually be like, maybe not likable, but like, is she meant to actually, when she says that she cares about Antonio more than anyone else does, am I meant to like believe that, or am I just meant to be like, you know, like, nah, she just capping? Because it sounds like she's just capping. It sounds like she's kind of just saying shit to say shit because she wants to be special. But maybe she's not. I don't know, brother.
Scott merely a tool to help boost her popularity status at Bridgedale High. Rebecca and Bree said their goodbyes to Lizzie and Antonio and said their goodbyes to Lizzie and Antonio, and headed off in the other direction to do some back-to-school shopping for clothes. Lizzie had already done all of her back-to-school shopping. Lizzie bought all of her clothes at Club Chic. Club Chic was Todd's former fashion label, and someone else was the owner of it, Todd's boyfriend, who helped him start the fashion design and get a couple of clothing line stores across the coastline. Lizzie and Antonio started walking toward Club Chic. This particular store was the first one of the chain. So your friends seem nice, Antonio said. Lizzie looked deep in thought. Antonio smiled. I'm used to the attention I get from women, he said.
His voice is insane.
And the nasty, jealous looks guys give me because of the attention. I know how you feel, Lizzie said. It's the same way with me and guys. They give me the same attention, and the girls hate me for it. Personally, I don't care for the publicity it comes with. Antonio said. Same here, Lizzie said. Wow, Antonio and me have something in common, Lizzie thought.
two people who are just way too attractive. They're so attractive, dude. They're so attractive.
Lizzie and Antonio were walking through the mall. Antonio meeting Lizzie's friends at the mall was certainly wasn't expected.
Like their character flaws.
Lizzie and Antonio were walking through a bustling crowd of people, most of whom were doing back to
story. Oh God, because their character flaws are like such. I wonder. I think he said he wrote this when he was in Job Corps, and he was like an actual teenager back then. So like it does make sense, but it's like their character flaws are basically that they're too perfect. Now writing character flaws is pretty hard as someone who writes sometimes. It's a lot harder to write them for characters you don't really feel for, if that makes sense. As in like when you're just kind of starting out with a character, you don't just like think of their flaws, you think of the character. Right? Their flaws are secondary to who they are. And then as you get to more developing of the character, you realize, okay, hold on. What makes this character feel natural? Natural. And then the flaws come in. It's not like it's an instantaneous thing. It's not like it's just like when you think of a character, you don't think of their flaws first. That's not what you want to think of their character first, because that means they're a bad character. Or at least an unlikable character, not necessarily a bad character. Unless they're meant to be so unlikable. And it's like, unless you're doing a thing where it's like, it's kind of like some kind of weird deconstruction of like the characters and how they work. You don't want, if you're just having like a standard likable character, a standard main character, side character, the first thing you think of shouldn't be if they're unlikable or not. It should be, or what their unlikable parts are. It's who they are, who they be, who they is. Right? But from what I'm seeing, Lizzie, as intentionally in the universe, doesn't have any character flaws. She's just kind of, she legit is just kind of perfect. She's not shallow like her friends, but she will cheat on her boyfriend, and blah 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 blah. And it's like Cobra, I acknowledge that like her cheating on her boyfriend, her cheating on Todd, is meant, not Todd, Scott, is meant to be like a negative thing, but it's also like you're just kind of forgiving it for the sake of like the story. So it's all kind of mixed up in my dans mon opinion, dans mon champignon. But like yeah, they're just too attractive, dude. They're so attractive. Everyone wants to fuck them. It's literally a flaw.
School shopping. People stopped to stare at Antonio and Lizzie as they walked through the mall. What a beautiful couple, an elderly woman said as she sat next to her elderly husband. Lizzie was blushing. Antonio looked uncomfortable. They arrived at Club Chic 20 minutes later after passing the food court. A JCPenney's, a pet store filled with exotic birds, reptiles, fish, cats, dogs, weasels, gerbils, and hamsters. They passed the Hot Topic and the Spencer's. Groups of goths, scene emos, and punks cluttered these stores. They passed the Sears and a GameStop, finally coming to Club Chic. Club Chic was top-of-the-line fashion, the latest and the best. The newest styles were there, as well as Club Chic's exclusive line, which was the fashion line designed by Todd and his boyfriend, Christabel. The money made from the Club Chic exclusive line was donated to help fight diseases and raise awareness of the hate of homosexuality in America, and helping the needy and other various organizations to help out the needy. Okay. The idea was started by Todd and Christabel, and after the death of Todd, Christabel added the awareness to the help stop the hate towards homosexuality.
Was Todd cheating on Lizzie's mom with his boyfriend? Because he died. Because he killed himself. He literally killed himself. So was it like a... I'm thinking here. I don't know if that was mentioned. I didn't hear it mentioned. But it might have been implied. And kind of got lost in... both in context and lost in Cobra actually saying it. Because Cobra speaking is kind of like a... You know what I mean? It's kind of rough sometimes. You gotta listen between the words to get the meaning. So I'm going to assume that Todd had a boyfriend while he was dating Lizzie's mom, which is it's pretty rough.
Dedicated the fashion line to Todd and the greater good of humankind. Every item in the Club Chic exclusive line
was Hardy Cops right there.
Was handmade by Christabel and Todd.
Christabel.
Not just Christabel. And a team of dedicated fashion designers, and every item was made by recycled materials.
Damn, that's pretty.
And the colors on the items were done with environmentally friendly, non-toxic dyes. The store walls were painted in charcoal gray. The store was alive with loud rave music. You know, that kind of music. The storefronts were littered with atomically correct male and female mannequins dressed in swimwear and the latest fashion wears for the fall.
Let's go back a little bit.
Were littered with atomically correct.
Atomically correct. Yeah. I guess it would be atomically correct. Fair enough.
Male and female mannequins dressed in swimwear and the latest fashion wears for the fall line. A very eccentric man came over to see Lizzie and Antonio. He had long silver hair pulled into a ponytail and a pointed goatee below his lower lip. He was wearing tan slacks with a brown lip.
That is how you would say goatee if you just didn't know what it was. You'd probably just say goatee. But, you know.
Ponytail and a pointed goatee below his lower lip. He was wearing tan slacks with a brown leather belt and a tucked-in white tuxedo shirt with a purple shirt underneath and a pink tie.
I wish I knew when he wrote
black leather dress shoes. He had watery
blue
eyes and walked with a walking stick with the head of a bronze lion on top of a ruby red cane. Liz, how are you? It was Christabel. His voice was deep with a slight feminine and southern accent.
Is this the gay voice?
Christabel and Lizzie shook hands. Lizzie introduced Antonio to Christabel. Antonio, this is Christabel, the owner of Club Chic. Lizzie said. Antonio and Christabel shook hands. Christabel, do you have any bikinis in the Club Chic exclusive line? Lizzie asked.
Also, Christabel.
Yes, right this way, said Christabel. Antonio and Lizzie followed Christabel
the fakest name. That's the fakest possible sounding name. It is.
Expensive and refined clothing. They came to a section full of men's and women's swimwear and stopped at the women's swimwear. Christabel said, look around and see what you like.
Let's read this. The first result for the name Christabel. It is a lyric by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Christabel is a long narrative ballad by Samuel Taylor Coleridge in 2 parts. The first part was reputedly written in 1797, the second in 1800. Coleridge planned 3 additional parts, but they were never completed. What is it about? Oh. Well, it's a female name, so that's probably not it. Probably not the one. I'm going to assume. I don't think he wanted the female name for this male character, but he might have. Who knows? Primarily female name of Spanish origin that means beautiful Christ follower. I mean, it does make sense. I feel he would say like a Christabel, but even then that was a rough accent. Christabel? Yeah, Christabel. But not Christabel. Christabel sounds like, I don't know. Christable? Christable.
Had time to go shopping for a new swimsuit because I've been working at my mom's winery, Lizzie said as she looked through the swimsuits. Lizzie came upon one that she looked at. The bikini bottom was a very skimpy G-string.
Very skimpy.
Skimpy G-string. The bikini top was a very tiny sling bikini top.
Oh, so you want to know the other reason why I want to know when he wrote this? Or because if he wrote it in Job Corps, then it was like, he was probably 18 to 20, which is, yeah. But if he wrote it when he was in if he's reading it now, when he read it, he could have been like, yeah, if he was in Job Corps, then the ages are they're only 16 to 24, so it's whatever. But like I'd like to know when he read it, because this if he was like, you know, like 25, 26, maybe even, you know, he wasn't 30. He wasn't 30. He just couldn't have been 30 because he turned 30 this year. So we would have been like maybe like 25, which is still a 25-year-old reading a story that he wrote about a relatively young girl and her skimpy bikini top, which is, you know, it is what it is. He wrote it. He's just reading it for what it is. He's reading the content. It's not his fault. He's just reading the content, bro. But I'm still gonna feel kind of skeezed here. You know what I mean? I'm kind of skeezed out right now. The skeezing's happening.
Oval-shaped cups individually, each hanging
oval-shaped cups. Let's go.
Shoulderless straps that darted at the far sides of the cups and wrapped around under the arms and to the back, and it was a vivid hot pink. Lizzie's eyes widened. She pulled it off the rack and held it on the hanger and held it against her body. That would look stunning on you, said Christabel. Lizzie headed to the changing room to try on the bikini on. Okay, this is about to get pretty sexual, so I'm warning you right now. She took off her shoes.
Let me just brace myself, I guess. Oh, I blew on the mic. I'm so sorry. Oh, no. Oh, that was terrible. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I sound sarcastic, but I'm actually pretty upset that I did that. Wish I didn't, but you can't change who you are, I guess. Either way, I guess let's go into this.
Then she took off her cape and yellow low-cut tube top, and then she unbuckled her brown belt and took off her tight, faded hip-hugger jeans. She then took off her socks. She was in her brown thong now. Tossing her hair behind her, she undid the bra and tossed it onto the pile of clothes. She then bent forward as she took off her royal purple thong. She stopped to admire her nude body in the dressing room mirror. The only thing that had hair on her body was the top of her head. Everything else was as smooth as silk and removed any hair. Playboy model material, Lizzie thought as she ran her soft hands slowly down every curve.
He's whispering now too. He's getting
into it. She picked up the bikini bottom and pulled her right foot up through it and her left, and then her left, and up on her waist and tied it.
And lest you question and say it's not really bronze or bronzed.
Sorry.
Not only is it real bronze, it actually has a little bit of tarnish that rubbed off on the foam over here. To show you, it is a real bronze coating on this guy. Okay, it actually came off on the foam. And yes, the styrofoam, unfortunately, as you can see, was already broken like that when I first received it. So it is going to have a tiny bit of damage to the styrofoam packaging. However, I shipped it across my entire country.
You can hear him. You can hear him break it. You can actually hear the audio of him breaking it.
Really bronze or bronzed.
There. It's like an audio frame of him breaking it.
Picked up the bikini top and covering her breasts with it tied around her back. It barely covered her nipples, and as she looked at herself over in the dressing room mirror, she was stunned by how attractive she looked and how sexy she felt wearing the bikini. She stretched her arms over her head and looked to see if the top stayed in place, and it did.
And it did.
She turned around to stare at her butt in the dressing room mirror. Well-toned like the rest of her body, thanks to good genetics from her mom and dad and years of cheerleading.
I feel so
The vivid hot pink looked good on her. Lizzie loved the bikini, but she wanted a second opinion. So she stepped outside of the dressing room.
I mean, she's 18, I guess.
Antonia, Christabel, what do you think? Lizzie asked. Antonia just got done reading a giant book.
I mean, I see that the number 18, I get kind of scared anyway, so I don't know.
Club Chic exclusive, explaining the reasons for the fashion
just
line.
Like Juan Decimo right now.
Where the money went when clothing was purchased from the fashion line. Feel good and look good wearing Club Chic exclusive, the slogan said. Antonio turned and nearly broke his neck, and his mouth fell open and his eyes fired up.
Nearly broke his neck.
With lust and admiration, Christabel smiled. You look fabulously sexy, Lizzie, he said.
Fabulously sexy.
Lizzie smiled and began blushing. For once in her life, she didn't mind being stared at. She felt amazing. She looked amazing, too. She began strutting between Antonio and Christabel like a runway model. Seeing how the bikini felt when she walked, it was the perfect bikini, Lizzie thought. It was
perfect bikini.
Comfortable, didn't ride her and chafe her body. It felt like she was wearing nothing, and she could move freely, and it felt amazing.
Nothing at all.
The material for the swimsuits are made of a super durable and comfortable material. All the swimwear and the Club Chic exclusive line are designed to hug your body's natural curves, just like wearing a really comfortable pair of pajama bottoms, Christabel said. A couple of other store shoppers took notice to Lizzie as well. Now several women were looking at the Club Chic exclusive swim
she's walking around in the store.
Seeing how gorgeous Lizzie looked in one and hearing about how they fit from Christabel. I'll take it, Lizzie said, and she walked back to the changing room. She undid the strings to the bikini top and bottom, taking them off. She was nude again. The cold air conditioner store had made her nipples hard as she pulled her thong back on. And then as she was putting her bra back on, her hands brushed against her hardened nipples. Lizzie suddenly felt a tingling sensation all over her body, with electricity tingling all over. Lizzie stopped halfway through putting on her bra to collect her thoughts. Lizzie had never explored her body in a sexual way before. Lizzie had never explored her body in a sexual way before. Lizzie had asked her mom when she was younger about touching oneself, but her mom said it was wrong and immoral. This was right around the time Bruce had died, and hormones racing like wind in the trees. Lizzie put her bra.
I don't like this cutscene. I don't want to be here anymore.
Lizzie put her bra, her thong, and her socks on.
We're done finally. Thank God.
Without realizing it, she had put her thong on backwards. The sling of the rubbing against her as she put it on.
Oh my God! Please.
She took it off. She took off the thong and turned it around and noticed that she was wet.
Oh my God!
Lizzie looked down and noticed that her vagina had opened up and was slightly wet.
We don't have to do this, bro. We cannot do this.
What was going on? Lizzie thought. Lizzie put her thong on right, and then her pants and bra on, buckled her belt, and finally her shirt, and then her shoes. Lizzie exited the dressing room with the bikini hanging from the hanger and headed to the counter to buy it.
Are we done here?
Lizzie looked over and saw that every young woman in the store was looking at a swimsuit. Now Christabel was answering questions left and right. Lizzie approached the counter, and the cashier rung her up $200. Holy crap. That's one expensive bikini, Lizzie thought, but it's worth it. The price, she thought. Antonio made his way over to her, and they were preparing to leave when Christabel came over to him. I would be delighted, Lizzie, came over to them. I would be delighted, Lizzie, if you modeled my fashion for a magazine, Christabel said. That way, the way you attracted shoppers to the Club Chic exclusive fashion line was spectacular.
The Club Chic.
You're definitely a natural for it, Christabel said. Lizzie smiled. Yeah, definitely, she said. When you do turn 18, Crystal asked. Lizzie, October 24th, excuse me.
Wait.
Perfect. That's
Wait.
She said. When you do turn 18, Crystal asked.
When do you turn 18? Christabel asked.
Lizzie, October 24th.
October 24th. October 24th. Cobra, did you just read a
You know, I think basing your stance on what age is right for like sexual activity and stuff on the law is bullshit, because it's different in a lot of places. Even if it's a similar age, it's just different. There's a lot of ins and outs, and there's a lot of wrong answers, but there's never really a right answer. Once it gets into this kind of gray area, you know what I mean? It's a big topic, but at least a good baseline in most cases is what's legal. Where you live, it's a pretty good baseline starting point for discussion, and it's a good fail-safe if you don't know what age you should put down for whatever. Just say 18 or whatever is in your area. So my point here basically is that the fact that this scene just happened and this character is literally 17. Bit skeeved. I was a bit skeeved to begin with, but now I'm extremely skeeved. I'm overly skeeved. I'm skeeved out. I'm uber skeeved. Stone Cold Skeeve Austin. I don't want to be here anymore, man. I don't smile, man. I got nothing to smile about in life.
24th, excuse me. Lizzie said, "Perfect. That's when I planned on airing my fall fashion line." Cristobal said, "I would have you model now, but I'd rather wait till you're 18 just to play it safe." Cristobal said, "But that Lizzie had a job lined up when she turned 18.
How was playing dangerous, bro?
Meaning she could quit working at her mom's winery when she turned 18. "How's your mom doing?" Cristobal asked Lizzie. "A bitch as always," Lizzie said casually. Well, I don't judge her," Cristobal said, "for hating gays. It isn't right, but everyone's entitled to an opinion. After all, who would someone gay like myself be to judge someone?" Lizzie said bye to Cristobal, and she and Antonio headed out the shop door, a brand new vivid hot pink bikini and a Club Chic bag. The bag was a shining black with the words Club Chic written in fancy letters and shiny silver. And, you know, it's got something like that, you know, kind of visual.
Big explaining. Cobra explaining.
We're nearing the end of the rough draft. Oh, man. "Where to next?" Antonio asked. Lizzie looked at him for a moment. "You hungry?" she said. "I was thinking we could stop for a bite to eat in the food court." "Sounds good to me," Antonio said.
Let's check out this cool, epic Finster stream real quick. Hold on, just pop in a new tab and watch it for a second. What's going on here? You British still?
Anything in his life.
eBay Motors.
Got an ad. I'm gonna just click off. I just want to hear Finster say like dude, like dude. That's how he says the word dude. It's pretty funny every single time. Hold on.
Comment and then explain what about my fucking pretty new maid outfit. Jesus Christ! It is a pink maid outfit. Do you remember that one I wore?
It's a pink maid outfit.
Fuck!
He is 5'10".
It's a version of that in pink.
$100. Let's go.
I think the reality is we are both almost.
We are both almost.
I am 5 foot. Fuck! I am 5 foot. Oh, fuck you all.
What is this lame boy content?
Thanks for the $100. Fuck you for your bad insult message.
You probably didn't mess it up totally with this fan. OTK are looking for more female members anyway, so you should be fine.
What the fuck was that? OTK are looking for female. Oh, hey, Jesus! Oh my God. Okay, fine. I got my hair.
Just say dude.
Yes, it's pink. Oh wait, didn't someone send me some? Am I being
shirtless stream? Shirtless stream.
No. Someone sent me some hair clips before, and I don't know if I lost them in my drawer.
How many bits for you to take your shirt off in?
Quite a lot. And I'd do it if I'm absolutely 100% new. If I got like a Twitch staff member in here and they were like, "Yeah, you're good, fam," then I'd do it.
Wow.
All right, that's all we need. The wow. That's the cross promotion right there. That classic scumbag, sanctification, slow talking, cross promotion. Go give Finster a follow with their 2.3k viewers. Go give Snuffy a follow too. Let's watch Snuffy real quick. What's Snuffy doing? Is she being annoying?
If I played the music from it, maybe you would understand that it's kind of a fucked up trip.
Are we rating anime right now?
The music alone is very telling. Perfect Blue. Rowan keeps trying to get me to watch Perfect Blue, but I watched a trailer how the girl is like an idol getting stalked, and like I just don't want to. I don't need the realism in my life.
This is the Paprika soundtrack? This is the fucking Paprika soundtrack, motherfucker. Recognize that goddamn song. We're rating anime. We're being annoying. Pissing me the hell off. Piss me the fuck off. Snuffy, you piece of shit. Die.
Lizzie and Tony walked back to the food court. Lizzie was thinking of
I gotta stop
a few
saying
moments
die.
back
It's
in the
a
dressing
bad
room
habit to have.
when she was getting out of her bikini and back into her clothes. Antonio, Lizzie said, is it normal to play with yourself? Antonio looked uncomfortable. Yeah, at this age, it is normal. Why do you ask?
Is it normal to play with yourself?
Lizzie told Antonio about what had happened in the changing room.
I started touching myself in the
Shouldn't
changing
your
room.
mother talk about this? Antonio said,
I'd like his
no,
head,
my mother wouldn't
his
talk
head
to me
scale.
about this kind of thing. She says it's wrong and immoral.
His massive head
Lizzie
scale.
said. Antonio said, haven't you had sex? No, I've been waiting for the right moment, Lizzie said. And the right man, Antonio said. Yeah, Lizzie said. Well, masturbation is perfectly normal for someone your age. I don't know how girls do it, but I do know how
So
guys do it.
Antonio is out here fully
How do
18,
guys
just
do it,
making out with
Lizzie asked.
17-year-olds?
Antonio sighed.
Cool.
And he told Lizzie how guys do it.
You
Have you done it before, Lizzie asked
Antonio
Antonio.
explained masturbation.
Antonio began to turn red. Yes, I have done it before, Antonio said. And it feels really good, he said. Lizzie was too busy with her hectic life to even try masturbation on herself. Too worried about popularity, homework, the right clothes.
She was too busy to masturbate.
Going to the right parties, reading all the right magazines, helping her mom when she got too drunk to function and was too hungover to function.
Holy shit.
Dealing with her mom's drunken snide remarks and attitude. Part of Lizzie feared having sex. She'd been to enough health ed classes in junior high and high school to know about diseases you could get and pregnancy. Lizzie was definitely not ready for a baby or getting a transmitted disease. Then she was told birth control and condoms could prevent all of that, but part of her feared that big change in her life. Lizzie didn't like change. She liked things to be routine, and yet she craved adventure in her life. Something to spice things up and make her hectic, boring life interesting, but part of her didn't want things to change. Her fear of change was due to the hectic life at home, with 3 dads gone and hitting puberty at the age of 12, going on 13. The combination of the events caused a repressed fear of change in her life, and part of her fear.
This is like character development right here.
Dealing with her mom's rape was the contributing factor to that. Did it hurt, she wondered, and then get better, or would it always hurt, she wondered. Lizzie didn't bother going to her mother for these questions. Knowing her mother, Lizzie thought the minute she asked questions like that, her mother would assume that she was having sex and would want raunchy details. But the fact of the matter was, Lizzie was still a virgin and unsure of her surroundings when it came to sex and boys. Scott had been her first boyfriend, and ever since then she found it easy to accept his love for her. She remembered her first kiss with vivid detail. It was a fall afternoon, Saturday. Lizzie and Scott were 14. They were taking a walk through the Ridgedale City Park. Okay, you ready for this? Another visualizing scene?
No, I don't.
The sky was overcast and gray. The ground was covered in fallen leaves. They were holding hands in the cold afternoon of the fall weather, walking side by side, watching the leaves fall to the ground. They came on to an old wooden bridge that had faded and cracked white paint. They came to the middle of the old wooden bridge, and they looked down into the river, littered with beautiful fall-colored leaves. 2 dark brown ducks with streaked
Shout out to the ducks out there.
All black and their feathers were swinging by quacking.
All my duckers.
Oh, look, Scott, Lizzie said, pointing to the ducks. The duck couple swimming by under the bridge. They're so adorable, Lizzie said. Not as adorable as you, Scott said, looking into her eyes.
Oh, that's pretty slick, Scott. Good
You're
job,
the
Scott.
most beautiful girl in the universe, Scott said.
I wonder if Phil...
Lizzie looked into Scott's eyes.
You're
beautiful too. I mean, very handsome, she said, laughing at her.
Because it's a pretty generic name, but like, what
Scott
if it was
laughed
like,
too.
based on
His
Homeboy's
hands
body?
were warm in her warm hands. And it happened, looking into each other's eyes, slowly leaning in, they began kissing. Their arms wrapped around each other, swaying on the spot. His lips warm and soft against her warm and soft lips. The moment their lips touched, it began to rain. The rain pitter-pattered on the fall leaves in the river and hitting the bridge in the same pitter-patter. The smell of Scott, the smell of rain, the sound of rain, the sound of thunder and lightning.
That was something.
Yeah, skip the page. Oops. Lizzie hadn't expected her first kiss that day. She hadn't expected to want more kissing the way it made her body feel to be embraced like that. She loved the tingly feeling of pleasure all over her body that came from a good kiss. She had a little difficulty getting used to the kissing in public, though. That Monday, after the first kiss, Lizzie and Scott met up at the spot. At the old school water fountain that was surrounded by trees that bloomed beautiful flowers in the spring. This water fountain was made of marble and concrete. It had the school's crest adorned with two little boys and two little girls leaning on it, and a bulldog playing a panpipe. One little girl was playing a lyre, and one little boy was blowing on a coachman's bugle. The other little girl was playing a flute, and the little boy was playing a lute.
Any buglers? Any bugles?
All the statues were smiling and poised in musical whims. Back when the water fountain worked, water trickled out of the ends of the flute, bugle, and lute. The lyre had water trickle down from the two-top side ends of it. A lyre is basically a harp that the Greeks
Why did I do
played.
this to him? He's not even that evil looking. But he
So
is
you
now.
guys know. Into the water fountain itself, and the panpipe also trickled water from the ends of it. All the water trickled into the base of the water fountain, which was 2 feet deep. But now the water fountain was aged and covered in moss and trumpet creeper vine. There was Scott sitting on the water fountain that Monday. Lizzie walked over to him, and Scott got up. Lizzie walked over and Scott, and they hugged. Then, when their eyes met, Scott's eyes said, "Kiss me." Lizzie wanted to, but she was all too aware of the people staring at them as though they were a TV soap opera couple, deep in love. 2 seconds passed when Lizzie thought, to hell with it, and kissed Scott full on the lips, the way they had kissed in the park. The kiss was different, however. Scott began to fondle Lizzie, rubbing his hands all over her, and using his tongue while he kissed her, and Lizzie returned with the same intensity. Lizzie felt her whole body heat up with the passion of the moment as her hands.
Here's my issue right here. If I am correct, this is still in flashback mode, and they are still either 13 or 14. So, not a fan of this this preteen heavy petting. Not super down with it, but c'est la vie.
Which made
I got die in
their
my
way
name,
down
so
from
it's R.I.P.
his shoulders to his arms, around his waist, onto his butt. Scott began kissing her neck and moving up to her earlobe, kissing it tenderly. Lizzie's body was on fire with passion, burning with lust, as she felt Scott's hands make their way up her body, from her butt all the way around to her chest and back around to her shoulders and down to her waist. When they finally pulled away, they held hands as they walked to their lockers to get their things for their first period classes. People were staring while I talk of Lizzie's and Scott's little suck-faced vast heads spread around the school like wildfire. Lizzie's favorite time to kiss Scott was when she was done with cheerleading practice and Scott was done with football practice, and Scott would have Lizzie pinned up against the little school lockers, her legs wrapped around his waist as he slid her hands up her cheerleader skirt, and agreeing with Lizzie not to go underneath which was okay with Lizzie as she felt alive with Scott feeling her up, pushing her skirt above her waist with his wrist and letting go as he put his hands around her waist and shoulders and chest and behind her head and burying his face in her. Yeah, I skipped a page again.
The hairline's all the way back, actually. Just so they have a fully just kind of backed up hairline.
Burying his face in her.
In her? Hair?
Cleavage and neck.
Cleavage and neck. Alright.
Lizzie liked the way his hands felt, and she didn't mind the jealous stares from girls and guys walking by either. Lizzie, what do you want to eat? Antonio said. Lizzie blinked. She was at the food court at the mall and lost in memories of Scott. Lizzie looked over at all the choices offered at the food court. Asian, Mexican pizza, pretzels, coffee, all the usual food choices
Cajun.
At malls were there. But Lizzie had a favorite place to eat at the mall. This little cafe in the mall served up frozen yogurt, ice cream, and little entrees like mini bagel pizzas, and also served a variety of drinks like water, sparkling water, and sparkling soda, fine gourmet coffee, energy drinks, and expensive prepared drinks that varied from smoothies to special coffee drinks. It was Java Palace. How's the Java Palace sound? Lizzie asked Antonio. Never tried them, but sounds great. They walked into the Java Palace and stood in line.
Should I give him a hat? I kind of like
Lizzie wasn't feeling very hungry, so when she approached the counter with Antonio, the workers staring in disbelief at the beauty of the handsomeness
of so attractive. Oh
my god. And handsomeness of Lizzie and Antonio. Lizzie ordered a medium-sized peach frozen yogurt and a mini pizza bagel and a monster energy drink. Lizzie's favorite fruit of all time was peaches. They grew around in the area, and the old school water fountain was surrounded with peach trees. Antonio ordered the same, and as Lizzie got out her purse to pay for the meal, Antonio said, "I got this, Lizzie." He said as he pulled out $28.50 from his wallet and pocket.
$28.50, exactly. On
Lizzie
the
was surprised. She'd never had a guy buy her a meal before, and let alone go shopping with her. Scott would have rather spent the day watching football than go shopping with Lizzie, and often they'd end up splitting the cost of the meal. "Thanks," Lizzie said to Antonio. "No problem," he said. They got their order and went to a table in the corner, sat down and began to eat. Lizzie sat in silence. "This is a good pizza bagel," Antonio said. "I've never had frozen yogurt or a pizza bagel," Antonio said as he finished his pizza bagel and took a bite of his frozen yogurt. His face lit up. "This is good frozen yogurt," he said. "It's fun trying new things every now and then," Antonio said. Lizzie finished her pizza bagel and opened her monster and poured our monster energy drink into her frozen peach yogurt and stirred it around to make a float.
She made a drink combo. Now, for those of you who don't know about the drink combo lore, if you aren't initiated yet, KingCobraJFS is a master of drink combos, which are essentially just mixing two drinks together, usually an energy drink and some alcohol. So for him to give his main character, a drink combo, it's definitely something. Can I find a video of this? I fucking can't. I sadly can't, which is pretty unfortunate. But according to resources, half a Mountain Dew and half of a Blue Moon beer forms Cobra's Mist. So that's pretty good. but I actually cannot find it. I can't find a video for it. I'm sure there's a video out there somewhere, but I'd have to research. So that's pretty unfortunate, but it's there. It's out there. So when you mentioned the Mountain Dew, I was like, oh my god, she wouldn't. He isn't making her do this. He makes her do it. He makes her make a drink combo.
She then took a drink. Antonio did the same and smiled. Lizzie, you have good taste in food and drink, he said. Thanks, Lizzie said, blushing.
Lizzie, you have good taste in food and drink.
Lizzie and Antonio drank the rest of their Monster and drinks and got up from the table. Antonio picked up his frozen yogurt and the tray and took it to the trash, disposing of the empty plates and empty cans, and then turned back to Lizzie, who came up behind him with her frozen yogurt in her hand. Antonio took a bite of his frozen yogurt and asked Lizzie, "What's next?" They decided to go out and look around at the pet store. Antonio and Lizzie entered the pet store and looking around at all the store had to offer. They looked at all the fish, reptiles, frogs, spiders, gerbils, hamsters, cats, and towards the middle, cats, dogs, and towards the middle of the store sat on top of the perch was a rather grumpy-looking scarlet macaw. Lizzie awed the bird's colors. I wonder why no one's bought him, she said. That's one colorful bird, Antonio said, reading the info next to the parrot's large empty cage. Wow, $2,200 for him. That's one pricey parrot, Antonio said.
That's one pricey parrot.
Pricey parrot, the bird said with a squawk.
Pricey parrot.
Talks too, Antonio said. No shit, Sherlock, the bird said again. Antonio and Lizzie laughed. The bird made a laughing sound mocking them, which made Antonio and Lizzie laughing harder. Fuck off, cocksuckers, the bird said.
It's a pretty cool bird.
Antonio and Lizzie stopped laughing. No wonder this bird's not very nice, Lizzie said. Who could blame him trapped in the store all day, every day, Antonio said. Eat pig shit, the bird said, and then the bird made a loud fart noise. You're quite charming, aren't you, Antonio said. Antonio extended his arm to the macaw. And the macaw climbed onto Antonio's right arm and stood there as Antonio began to pet the macaw on the head gently. The macaw closed his eyes, enjoying the attention. Lizzie was amazed, and so was the shop owner. He's never that friendly with anyone, he said.
Oh my god, they're so cool. This couple is so cool.
I'm barely allowed to touch him, the shop owner said in amazement. Well, if you stuck with me this long, I applaud you. I don't know too many people would sit through this incredibly long video and listen to read one of my stories.
Oh, wait, that was not the story.
Or a story I've had an idea I'm working on. Just goes.
No, hold on.
If you stuck with me this long, I applaud you.
He applauds us. He applauds me. When now I feel, fulfilled. Thank you, Cobra.
I don't know too many people would sit through this incredibly long video and listen to read one of my stories. Or a story I've had an idea I'm working on. Just got scared working on. Lizzie and Antonio exited the pet store a few minutes later. Lizzie was impressed by Antonio's way with animals. I've always had a way with animals, Antonio said. Lizzie felt even more attracted to Antonio than ever before.
More attracted to him now. She can't
but
help
why?
it.
She asked herself, why did I have these feelings for him when I was with Scott? She thought.
Him.
Oh, Scott. The thought of Scott made Lizzie feel shame.
You don't care about Scott.
I'm with Scott, and here I am lusting after.
You literally already kissed him.
Lizzie.
I think she already rubbed his dick, too.
Exited the mall 30 minutes later and started walking towards the slug bug. They got in and buckled up. Lizzie lit up a cigarette, Antonio lit a strawberry cigarillo. Lizzie started the slug bug, and the engine sputtered to life, coughing up smog. When Lizzie noticed two people walking toward her car, Rebecca and Bree were looking at her car with smirks of delight. Nice car, Lizzie, Rebecca said, laughing. We looked just as amused. Where did you get that tricked-out jalopy? Bree said,
tricked-out jalopy.
At least I have a car, Lizzie thought nastily. My mom got it for me, Lizzie said, and then she explained the story of how her slug bug came into her possession. That is so like your mom, Rebecca said, laughing as she and Bree pulled out car keys from their purses. Well, our parents bought us each our own car as a back-to-school present, Rebecca said, and she walked down the parking lot to a brand new crimson red Corvette convertible.
A Corvette?
A black top.
Big black top.
Bree walked down, and next to the Corvette was a brand new bubblegum pink Ferrari with a tan and creamy colored convertible top, and bubblegum pink Ferrari with a tan and creamy white colored convertible top. Chow Liz, Rebecca said as she and Bree gunned their cars into life. The engines roared with a healthy sound, tires squealing. They took off into the parking lot and into traffic, blaring their music as loud as possible with their electric convertible tops folding down and lighting cigarettes. They laughed loudly and drove off into traffic.
Everyone smokes in this university. What the fuck?
Lizzie was fuming mad.
Seething.
Lizzie drove home in complete silence. Lizzie was speechless. Her supposed friends were such snobs. Why did they care what kind of car Lizzie had?
Because you hang with bitches, because you're a bitch with Lizzie.
What kind of car Lizzie had? They had the way they laughed at her slug bug. What did she care? What her friends thought? What could
okay, you know what? Fuck this.
Simply matter.
Lizzie attracts assholes as friends because Lizzie's an asshole. She doesn't realize it yet, but she is. She's actually kind of a bitch. And that's probably why all her friends are also bitches. But, c'est la vie, I guess. Also, I didn't know what a slug bug was until now. A slug bug is a punch buggy. It's one of those, Volkswagens. Those like little Volkswagen buggies. I didn't know that was a term for it. But, there you go.
What her friends thought about her car. Lizzie was jealous of her other cars. That much she could figure out. But they were jealous of her friendship with Antonio. So as far as Lizzie was concerned, that they were even. But why did it matter who was friends with who and who had the best hair, figure, clothing, looks, and car? It didn't matter. But Lizzie learned a long time ago that girls were very competitive with each other.
This just sounds like Cobra talking, honestly.
The worst thing girls compete over were boys. Lizzie hated the fact that girls were like that. Why do we do it? Why can't we just get along? But that showed weakness, Lizzie thought. You had to be tough as nails inside and out to deal with being a young woman in high school. Continuing. Lizzie arrived home as the song How Can I Live by Il Nino just got done playing. That was How Can I Live by Il Nino on X Nation 108.6. X Nation playing rock, metal, punk, grunge, alternative, and experimental only on X Nation, said the radio announcer. Lizzie set the station to her as her favorite station, so when she pressed one of the CD players, so when she pressed one on the CD player, when the radio loop was activated, it would automatically turn to X Nation. Lizzie turned into her driveway as the slug bug backfired and coughed up, swung, and sputtered to a stop in the driveway. Lizzie finished her cigarette, and Antonio finished his strawberry Rello. Lizzie turned off the radio and into the car. Then she grabbed her purse, shopping bag, and her frozen peach yogurt monster float, and got out of the car.
She kept it around, too.
Antonio grabbed his frozen peach yogurt monster float and exited the car. They shut their doors, and Lizzie left the windows cracked to air out the smell of tobacco as she locked the doors. We should go in and help your mom get ready for the party, Antonio said. They entered Lizzie's house, and they finished off their frozen peach yogurt monster floats, walking over to the kitchen and disposing of the empty cups into the garbage. Lizzie saw her mom. It comes in the graphic scene. Sitting on the sofa in the living room, and Lizzie and Antonio. Lizzie saw her mom sitting on the sofa in the living room, and Lizzie and Antonio walked to her. Joanne had a martini in one hand and a lit cigarette in the other, looking quite relaxed. Her cocktail dress was gris, with its thin straps barely hung to her shoulders at the moment, keeping her covered up. Her cocktail dress had peacock feathers designed all over it, and the lower half of the dress was wrinkled in odd places. Next to Joanne was a large lime green penis-shaped vibrator that was vividly detailed and solid, and it was glistening.
I can't even hear anything anymore.
Mom,
I'm just like,
oh my God, were you masturbating? Lizzie screamed. Joanne jumped up from the sofa. The vibrator hit the floor and began to vibrate as wet.
So he was like mumbling. He was just mumbling. Okay. Let me alt back.
Listening. Mom, oh, more becomes in the graphic scene. And got out of the car. Antonio grabbed his frozen peach yogurt monster float and exited the car. They shut their doors and Lizzie left the windows cracked to air out the smell of tobacco as she locked the doors. We should go in and help your mom get ready for the party, Antonio said. They entered Lizzie's house and they finished off their frozen peach yogurt monster floats and walking over to the kitchen and disposing of the empty cups into the garbage. Lizzie saw her mom, becomes in the graphic scene, sitting on the sofa in the living room, and Lizzie and Antonio, Lizzie saw her mom sitting on the sofa in the living room, and Lizzie and Antonio walked to her. Joanne had a martini in one hand and a lit cigarette in the other, looking quite relaxed. Her cocktail dress with its thin straps barely hung to her shoulders at the moment, keeping her covered up. Her cocktail dress had peacock feathers designed all over it, and the lower half of the dress was wrinkled in odd places. Next to Joanne was a large lime green penis-shaped vibrator that was vividly detailed and solid, and it was
he's just mumbling through this.
Mom, oh my God, were you masturbating? Lizzie screamed. Joanne jumped up from the sofa. The vibrator hit the floor and began to vibrate as wetness began flinging off it. Joanne picked up the vibrator and turned it off. Mom, you're such a hypocrite, telling me that playing with myself is immoral, Lizzie said. Don't talk to me in that tone, young lady, Joanne shrieked as she slammed the rest of her martini down her throat and chewing the olive and swallowing it. Joanne adjusted her dress straps back on her shoulders and got up, staggering. You smell like cigarettes, Joanne said, glaring at her. Lizzie, do you know how bad smoking is for you? Joanne said nastily. Then what the fuck is that you're holding between your fucking fingers, you hypocrite, Lizzie shouted.
She's getting mad now.
You will watch your mouth, Joanne. You will watch your mouth, Joanne said, and you better quit smoking or you will be in so much trouble, Joanne said. I'll quit smoking when you quit smoking, mother dearest, Lizzie said sarcastically. I don't have to quit. I'm an adult in this house, Joanne shrieked. And what a fine adult you turned out to be. You too drunk to function and too hungover to...
I feel like something kicked in after... Like, after they got out of the car, I think Cobra was trying to rush through this, or something, just he was, like, sipping on something and it kicked in, because he's just incomprehensible right now. Straight up incomprehensible. It's really messed up.
Or too stupid to make a sensible decision, Lizzie said. I've had enough of your smart mouth, Joanne said as she walked over and slapped Lizzie across the right cheek with her right hand. Lizzie flipped out. Lizzie punched her mom in the left eye with her right fist, blocking with her, Lizzie flipped out. Lizzie punched her mom in the left eye with her right fist, blackening it. Lizzie punched her mom in the stomach with her left fist, and then her right...
Oh shit, fight scene?
Caught her nose, and then her left caught her other eye. Then Lizzie shoved her mom to the ground as her right knee caught her mom in the left side of her rib cage. As Lizzie pivoted on the spot, spinning the left foot into the left center of her face, and jumped up using the base of her right foot to kick.
What the fuck is this fight scene?
Her right foot kicked her mom on the right side of her face. Her mom rolled over on the floor, the martini glass on the ground.
Holy shit, Lizzie, please.
Lizzie walked over to her mom and took the cigarette from between her fingers and then stomped on her mom's hand with each foot as she took a drag out from the cigarette and exhaled in her mom's face, smirking. Lizzie's mom had in recent years developed a slight. Lizzie's mom in recent years had developed a slight temper with drinking and it took it out on Lizzie. But Lizzie was done taking shit from her mom.
So you abuse her back.
From
of
her
course.
For doing nothing but deserve Joanne's bitter, drunken temper.
Are we done here? Please?
Lizzie blinked. Had that just happened?
Yeah, you just beat the shit out of
She
her
just
mother.
kicked the crap out of her mother?
Yeah.
Lizzie looked over and saw her mom on the floor. Her eyes were black and her nose bleeding. Joanne got up from the floor groaning in pain.
Lizzie fucking sucks.
Lizzie,
oh
what happened? Her mom said. Joanne didn't remember.
Oh my god. I think what this is Cobra kind of personifying what he calls his autistic rage. Right, King Cobra will tell you George will tell you that he has an autistic rage, and that sometimes he'll take action, and he won't even realize what he's done until he's done it, and it makes him scared. It makes him, like, scared of getting angry, because he doesn't want to, like, hurt anybody too bad, and not realize what he's doing until they're on the floor, you know, dying, because he stabbed him or he beat him to death. I think this is meant to be that. I think this is meant to actually be that. I'm not joking. I'm not capping. I think this is actually the intention of this scene. Is the autistic rage, which is because it seems pretty out of character. But like Lizzie is meant to be an XP for Josh. She's meant to like kind of be showing himself through Lizzie when you mentioned like the drink combos and all that. So maybe this is Josh trying to like through writing try to like explain what happens, and he just, I mean, it doesn't make it. It sounds like a real big issue when you just kind of happens out of nowhere. She just starts kind of like it's one thing to beat up your mom. It's definitely a big thing. It's another thing to beat her up and then take her cigarette and then burn her hand with it. It's a bit hardcore right there. It's a bit intense. I don't know, brother. Lizzie might have some issues. Might have a few. I'm just saying. I don't feel bad for Josh here. I kind of feel scared for the people around him if he had friends. Luckily, he doesn't really have, like, people who either are that close to him, and B, even if he did, I think they'd probably beat him in a fight anyway. So it's kind of okay. Because the rage is... Because luckily for Cobra, he's never actually hurt anybody. Which I mean luckily, because if Cobra actually ever hurt somebody, I think he'd... If Cobra ever got into a fight with somebody, I think he'd actually get killed. He would say some heinous shit. He would get too riled up, and he would just get, like... He'd get the shit beat out of him. It's so lucky that he hasn't gone that far yet. But then again, he's only 30. He has a lot of time left, you know what I mean? Anything can happen. So let's pray that he keeps his rage in check, I guess.
What happened? Wow, thought Lizzie. Lizzie helped her mom to her feet and sat her on the couch. You were really drunk and you had a nasty fall, Lizzie said. Joanne pulled out a golden, bejeweled makeup mirror. It was a 10-year anniversary. It was a 10-year marriage anniversary gift from Bruce. The lid on top was engraved in fancy writing with the words, Joanne Victoria Jones, my twinkling diamond in the sky, I'll always love you forever. Bruce Jones. Joanne opened the makeup mirror and groaned. Oh my God, I'm a mess. And she began to cry. Her makeup began to smear. At the same time, Lizzie pulled out her smartphone and began to film her mother's emotional breakdown. What am I going to do about my face? She said, crying, and blood and snot began to dribble down her nose and tears smeared eye makeup, making Joanne look like a sad, snot-nosed clown. I've put too much time into this fucking party and I look like a train wreck, Joanne said. She buried her hands in her face and cried. Lizzie turned the smartphone camera to her own face, smirking, said, my so-called thinks she's perfect mother. She then turned the camera back to her mother and Joanne was sobbing too loud to even notice Lizzie had her smartphone out. The guests were supposed to arrive at 2 o'clock, and the party's not even ready, Joanne sobbed. Lizzie pressed stop on her smartphone video recorder and hit the save button, and then turned it off, the video record mode, and then the main menu showed up. She then put the phone in her pocket. Mom, let's get you fixed up for the party and get the decorations up.
I just beat the shit out of you. Let's get you fixed up. This is
Antonio,
abuse.
could you get the party decorations up while I get my mom ready for the party? Lizzie said. Antonio looked disturbed and concerned at the same time. Certainly, Antonio said. It's 1 o'clock. We still have time, so let's get to work. Lizzie said. Joanne headed upstairs to take a shower, and after her quick shower, while applying a fresh blonde dye onto her hair, Joanne got out of the shower and, after drying her hair, put it in curls. While Lizzie applied skin tone to cover up the black eyes, and then applied blue, teal, and light green eye makeup, and then smoothing wrinkle remover cream all over her cheeks and jawline and neck. And then Lizzie applied some dark red lipstick and finished it off with a touch of bright pink blush and smoothing skin tone powder. Joanne took out her bright pink curls in her hair and let her hair fall down to her shoulders, all fluffed up and slightly curled. Joanne put on a blue push-up bra and got into her cocktail dress designed with peacock feathers, patterned into a vivid blue dress, and then topped it off with a jasmine-scented perfume. Joanne then put deodorant on and brushed her teeth after Joanne spit into the sink and washed it down. She stopped to admire herself in the mirror. As she put on blue underwear, Joanne stood up looking at herself, and she looked 10 years younger than she really was. Joanne walked over and sat on her bed and put on some light brown leggings, and on her feet put on a pair of teal-colored heels that had straps for holding them into her feet, and high arched feet and long and skinny heels. Joanne stood up to admire herself in the mirror and smiled. "This will do nicely," Joanne said, and then she turned to Lizzie and gave her a hug and thanked her for her help. Lizzie felt very awkward about the hug. Lizzie couldn't remember the last time Joanne hugged her, let alone thanked her for helping her. Lizzie suddenly felt a surge of anger course through her mother's ups and downs when it came to drinking and being sober. The anger, the resentment, the sadness, the bitterness. Lizzie hated dealing with it, and now the gratitude and the hug from her mom was just another thing to add to the emotional roller coaster that was Joanne's alcoholic life. Joanne and Lizzie headed downstairs to see if the decorations were up and ready to go,
melting.
along with party food and chilled champagne in a bucket and a variety of other alcoholic drinks, glasses, and several bottles of the winery's very best and most finest and expensive wine. And there was decorations outside all around the pool area, which was the size of half a football field, over by the glass pool tables.
I can't even commentate on this. There's nothing.
For ashtrays and candles.
Stop
and
describing,
pool
please.
House, which was the size of a small two-bedroom house, was decorated in streamers and balloons. Lizzie looked at her watch, and it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and the doorbell rang a loud and extravagant chime. Joanne thanked Antonio for helping finish the decorations and went over to answer the door. So there you have it. You just heard a bit of my story. That entire thing, that was just one, that was the end of a chapter. So, there you have it. Special Blonde. It's a work in progress, man.
That was it. It just cuts out right? Okay, fair enough. What can I say? What can I say to that? I feel skeeves. I feel like I've been touched where I don't want to be touched, and I don't like that very much. I don't really like the fact that our main character was kind of an asshole, and I'm still not necessarily sure if Cobra wanted her to be like... I'm not sure how much Cobra wanted her to be likable, if that makes sense. Because she feels like an asshole. Antonio, just kind of some dude. Just a bit of a piece of meat. Let's just look at Cobra. Let's look at Antonio right here. That's no, that's not Antonio. That's definitely not Antonio. Antonio, no, fuck. Okay, there it is. I forgot the file was the same thing. This is Antonio. Off the perk? No, yeah, off the perk. This is Antonio when the perk kicks out. Look at him, he's so cool. And green. And it's cool green lighting. But it was just kind of like... he didn't really say much or do much. We know things about him, but not really about his character. He's just kind of really, not really a real person. He's kind of just a, like I said, a piece of meat, piece of flesh to titillate some juices, I guess. He's a juice titillator, to say the least. To say the least, he's a juice titillator. Not really a character. Kind of worthless. Nobody else got any character development. It's a very character-driven fiction, but it has potential. You know, like I feel like if not for the sake of actual quality of the story, I think if Cobra wrote more and created more, I think he'd be in a really good place. Cause he makes his music, yeah, but it's not really like, he doesn't make it that often. He makes his wands. Yes, he makes wands, by the way, but he doesn't make them that often. So it's like, I feel like Cobra would really benefit from like a hobby like writing, or making more music, or doing something, but he doesn't do it. And he clearly, like, to some degree, has a passion for it, at least to tell something about himself through his fiction, but he doesn't carry on with it. And I guess that's him just kind of spiraling more into alcohol reliance and just laziness, and it's kind of sad. I wouldn't say it was an enjoyable story, but it was definitely, it was serviceable. If I just heard it, you know, like, it's, if he had an editor or something, it's not the best, but it exists. It's an amount of words, it's an existing story, and for a lot of things, having a story that exists is better than having no story at all. You know? So anyway, it's been 2 hours somehow, almost 3. I'm the guy, the dude, the lad, the frogger, the fella, the motherfucker, the piece of shit, and your best friend. Sanctification on Twitch, ScumGod on YouTube, and I'll be seeing you fuckers later. This is episode 67. We've got 2 more left. And this is a surprise announcement. Episode 69 will be a 2-parter. 68 is going to be a little bit of an interim, just a little small, little classic small stream. Episode 69 is a 2-parter, so get ready for that one. A lot of content coming down the chute. Not really, but amount of content coming down. Shut up. I'm the guy, the dude, the lad. I'm bidding you adieu, adios, wait, hold on, au revoir.